'cause I play to win. I play this game. Can't
love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you, I do, I love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you. I'm cold, still stainless. My glass half full. Always said, don't suffer no fools. Serpent, daydream.
got me burning up. You take, you take, you take, you take me higher. You take, you take,
You got me burning up.
you take, you take, you take, you take me higher. You take, you take.
You got me burning up.
Tell me where you wanna go. We could fly to the stars, yeah. Tell me if you wanna stay. We could fly night and day, yeah. Tell me where you wanna go. We could fly to the stars, yeah. Tell me if you wanna stay. We could fly, yeah. Tell me where you wanna go. We could fly to the stars, yeah. Tell me if you wanna stay. We could fly night and day, yeah. Tell me where you wanna go. We could fly to the stars, yeah. Tell me if you wanna stay. We could fly, yeah. To the stars, yeah. To the stars, yeah.
You were perfection, I was the mess. I lacked emotion, you did your best. I was behind you through every step. You lost your way and you fell instead. Fell instead. Fell instead. Fell instead.
Hello and welcome here, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 4 of the North American Rival Series, or if you didn't tune into the European version of this broadcast, you probably are wondering what the heck happened to Lottie, and sadly, feeling a bit under the weather, and so for now, you are kind of stuck here with me. Hello, I am your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold, and as always, here's some familiar faces up at the desk to join and break down some of the action. I have none other than Turtle and Stacks. Guys, I got to go ahead and ask here, I got some of the thoughts over Europe here, but how are you feeling here after a bit of a break?
I'm feeling awake, which you don't always have happen during the break between Europe and North America. Sometimes, the matches are. Wow, that was a great pen. You didn't see.
I just hucked my
Mr.
pen.
Penfold just had a really bad pen throw, but no, we had a good break. Saw a couple of matches that were pretty well squashes over on the Rival B stream, but they were entertaining in their own way. So ready to go for North America. Actually got some great matchups here today that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think this is the most important. I mean, obviously every single week it's like you keep exponentially getting closer and closer to crazy and crazier matches that are on the line and mean so much.
Well, I was on the Twitterverse a little bit earlier, and a little bird there of the world of Twitter Stacks told me that it is your birthday today, and I apologize for not formally addressing this on the earlier broadcast, but I went and found in our, kind of cafeteria section here today a nice little delicacy for you to consume. So happy birthday, and before you eat that, I do want to say, number one, it is not that kind of a gesture because we both have access to that dessert, and number two, I can't ensure that was made today, okay, or even is edible in any way, shape, or form.
I'm gonna let that sit there, and I will judge accordingly as
just wait
if
for the
it starts
smell.
changing colors throughout the day, then I will. It will be consumed by something. Yeah, that something may definitely not be me.
Maybe a trash bin.
Just give it an hour.
Maybe, yeah.
But again, happy birthday there, Stacks. And again, apologize for the little bit of delay there to be able to figure that out. But of course, here we are talking about North American Rival Series action. And with that, we have to consider some of the context that have happened over the past couple of weeks here. After 4 weeks of play, here we see with Charlotte Phoenix residing at the top. And I think considering the prowess of that roster is not too surprising. But is there anything you have to add here to Turtle after our first 4 weeks when you look at these standings?
I mean, interestingly enough, this is also our first matchup, but Bull Send, I'm still surprised. I mean, they were the WGN champions, and then they come out here, and obviously I expected a lot from them, but not to be the point where they're top 2 in the league right now. Bull Send just paving a way and making names for themselves in this rival series.
Yeah, they've had a couple of matches, though. They've had one in particular that they just kind of laid an egg. They really should be 6-1 right now.
Yeah.
If you ask anybody, look at their schedule and who they've played. But they also kind of made up for that with a win over the Charlotte Phoenix. I think the consensus is Charlotte Phoenix is the best team in the league.
Definitely.
And Bull Send does have a win over them, which is huge because it's going to come down to every little bit mattering over the course of the season in these final 2 weeks, and it could be a game here or there that separates second place from third, and having that win in particular, that gives them such an advantage over everybody else.
Definitely.
And I think it's important to highlight maybe why those wins are so very relevant here as we go ahead and bring up the format to give you some understanding if you have not been keeping up with the Rival Series as to what these guys are playing for. It's a bit of a mix-up from what has been of past of Rival Series, if I am not mistaken. So you guys, give me a little bit of breakdown of the differences that we see here.
Yeah, I mean, well, now we can basically have 2 teams automatically make it into RLCS, and then the bottom 2 teams will, or not technically, they'll have to fight it out, really, because there's going to be 2 playoff situations, and Stacks, you have all the situations under your belt, man.
Yeah, so because the RLCS is expanding to 10 teams next season, we know 2 teams from the Rival Series will be going up, and you go through the Rival playoffs, we'll send 2 teams there. The 2 teams that don't automatically promote from that will end up going through the promotion tournament like we have every other season, and in addition to that, there's also some prize money that goes into that as well.
Yeah, quite a pretty amount of purse here to be earned depending on your placement, especially sitting at the top there with, $13,000 considering, again, this is not even the, pinnacle, if you will, of competitive Rocket League. I feel like it's a very ample amount of money to be able to sustain that Rocket League career. And it's been something that we talked about a little bit about in Europe, as just, how big the lifestyle and kind of, ecosystem of the Rocket League world has really been able to grow as of late.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also interesting to see because Rocket League is such like a on-the-day esport right now. I think the competition and the gaps between all these teams are just thinning day by day, weekend by weekend. And as we progress in the rival series, we even see teams who have RLCS caliber, RLCS potential on the team, and they just fall short. We have like Chaos. I expected so much more from Chaos. We're going to see them later today, and it's really coming down to last games for them, which is surprising because they're so used to being in this situation. They got Corrupted Gabe trying to lead the way, and still they fall short, just to prove how close this entire season really has been.
And here we go, taking a glance at the schedule here for today and all the matchups that we have at hand. Our second match of the day is going to be Chaos Esports Club versus the Bulls, and the one that you consider so detrimental, or at least a high focal point, I think, for some of these teams. We have Charlotte, Phoenix, and Zookeepers, and we end our day with Afterthought and Compadres. And, of course, first up to kick off North America, it is Compadres up into Zookeepers. And to be completely honest here, guys, these are two rosters that I know very, very little about. Clearly, when it comes to the standings, Compadres seem to be holding their own above that. But is there anything that you guys would like to add here, considering this is the matchup at hand?
Yeah, for Compadres, they're going to go as far as skills takes them. He's been unquestionably their leader on the offensive end. And on the other side for Zookeepers, they're going to go behind Porklet. He's kind of an anomaly when you look at numbers because he doesn't take a lot of shots. So you wouldn't expect him to have that many goals. But he's leading his team in scoring despite taking just a little more than half the number of shots that his teammates have taken. He's only taken 38 shots this season. He has 15 goals. That's almost 40% shooting on the season. Nobody shoots that high ever. So it hasn't really worked out for the Zookeepers. They're 1-5, but if he gets a little help around him, this is a team, we've talked about it in past weeks. I want to see them stick together even after this season.
I mean, it's just really going to come down to an all-out assault on the defense of Zookeepers. I mean, two of their players are in the bottom six for goals per game. They can't transition onto the offensive side if you're Zookeepers. I think that's where they're going to struggle, is breaking out of the defensive end. And if their defense obviously doesn't hold up, that's when things are just going to start crumbling down. So if they start getting those saves early on in the series, I think that's what's going to progress into a better game for them.
And one thing I just want to ask, since we got Stacks distributing the numbers here and having a resource like you up here, Turtle, when I hear that right out the gates, when you talk about just basically the shot efficiency that is coming out from Porkla here for this roster, I immediately go, is that because he's just basically getting the cleanup crew, the third man who came in and basically had the easy shot? Is that, with having very little history for me visualizing this team, is that what is kind of happening for them, or is there something else that leads to that level of success?
I personally really agree with that statement, because I think that to have a really high shooting percentage, even though you're shooting less than your teammates, it does mean you're that third man. You're playing more passively, because a striker is going to, no matter what, a striker will always have so many shots on the board. It's their job to be aggressive, to be in that front line and just try and take the boost, get these shots in, and force a mistake. Usually it's the third man who has the least amount of shots, but the easiest open nets to shoot at. So yes, I would agree and testify that it's really the third man coming in and just cleaning up for the roster.
It's really interesting to be able to see how that unfolds, and even with that, I feel like that truly isn't going to be encasing maybe the whole story, but at least a fraction of it being distributed there for the Zookeepers. But knowing that this is the series at hand between the Compadres and the Zookeepers, I'd like to hear not only your predictions, but maybe one thought in line to justify where you sit and on what side of the battlefield.
I was watching, and we also casted last week in a lot of the Compadres games, and I think that series, I was really surprised by Skills. I thought that when he showed up, like you said, it's going to come down to him to lead and take charge. That's when they're gonna surprise us all and really, run away with the season. Hopefully for Compadres, I think they're going to take it.
Yeah, Skills has got to be wondering, okay, what else do I have to do? Because he was outstanding last season. He didn't have a good team around him. He's outstanding again this season. He has a much better team around him. Is it going to be enough? I think it's certainly enough to get by the Zookeepers here.
Yeah.
But the matchup they also have to worry about is Afterthought. I think they definitely win this one, but the one later today with Afterthought, I'm not so sure.
Well, that may be an opportunity for them to maybe warm up, right? To find a way to get some comfort there down on the pitch. My vote, as I've admitted, I have very little context and history on these rosters, so I merely went off of the success of the rosters as of late. I sit also with the Compadres just because the numbers are on their side, the results and the standings as well. So is there any must-have for the side of the Zookeepers beyond what we've already highlighted here. Maybe not so much even just on an individual player level, but even on a play style level to be able to deal with what we get from Compadres.
I mean, I just want to see them match the pace of Compadres. And I mean, Compadres alone are a roster as well, who I feel like as a lower level team, if you're Zookeepers, excuse me, it's easier to match that play style and match the pace because Compadres, they've fallen a lot to lower level teams that we would have on paper assumed them to win. And they end up beating a lot of these upper level teams. So they play and match the play style of who they're up against. So Zookeepers, even though, like I said, on paper, they should lose, I think they still got a great chance.
Yeah, they're a team a lot like Echo Zulu that they can play up to whoever they're playing. And we saw that with Echo Zulu earlier today in Europe. They could put up a fight against anybody. It's a matter of doing that consistently and then getting the actual wins that count.
Exactly.
And for Zookeepers, they haven't got those wins so far this season, but they are very capable of playing spoiler.
Well, it's time to figure out whether or not they actually have the tools to be able to do it here. Will Compadres or the Zookeepers walk away with it? I'm going to give it over to you guys here to kick off North America.
Thank you, Dreadnought. And Turtle, we look at this Compadres team, and all eyes are going to be on them throughout the day because there's a lot riding on both of their matches. Obviously, this one, they need to win this one to give themselves a chance at the top 4. If they don't beat Afterthought later, there's 4 teams on at least 5 wins. Compadres wouldn't join them. They're out of top 4 contention.
Exactly.
The other part of this is the Charlotte Phoenix later tonight can clinch top 4 if some other results go their way, including Compadres beating Afterthought. This is, as was mentioned earlier, a nice little tune-up for them.
And Compadres, I mean, they're thieves. They take these games off of upper-level teams and run away with them, but then end up falling short a lot of the times to lower-level RLCS teams and rival series teams.
This will be Porklet to start things off for Zookeepers.
Yeah.
And now Porklet coming on again. He is at the center of a lot of plays for this Zookeepers squad. If he does not get going, the team does not get going. Tool quickly down the other way. Off the pass from Bambi this time, and the shot is saved by Skills. Now ZPS out of the corner for himself, loose in front, and saved away at the last moment by Tool. Bambi got a piece of this, so no centering pass for Compadres, but plenty of pressure on the offensive end.
And this is what I was talking about. I want to see Zookeepers. They have to break out of that goalkeeper rotation and find challenges in front of the net instead of just playing passively and waiting for the shot to come in to force a save.
Porklet will try to chase this one down himself, but he's beaten to the boost by ZPS, who came in from out of nowhere. That will hinder his efforts greatly. But now Tool to the ceiling.
Oh, what a
down pass to Porklet, and he hit the crossbar. Tool will try again. He can't finish. And a great opportunity gone by the wayside for the underdogs, the Zookeepers.
And that's a must-finish shot. That pass coming through off the ceiling. Porklet could not find the net. That is just a wasted opportunity off of a fantastic pass.
And now Tool will intercept here. Bambi trying to start the attack downfield for the Zookeepers. Try to stall out Compadres, catch him in a counterattack. Easier said than done because they got one of the better defenders that we've seen in the rival series in Astro leading the way. ZPS will watch as Skills makes the save this time. And he is going to take this ball downfield himself. ZPS and Astro starting to form in behind him, waiting for a centering pass that eventually does come. Oh, it's a shot from ZPS. Nobody reacted for Zookeepers, and Compadres strike first.
ZPS with the snipe from the corner, upper pocket of the net. What an angle, and finding even anything on target from that angle is relatively impossible, but ZPS makes it look easy.
Nobody's really shy to take shots on this Compadres team. Meanwhile, Porklet rather shy to take shots overall, but on a rare shot from him, he does score here, and it is, as we mentioned earlier, Turtle, mop-up duty.
And it's off of a very poor clear, actually, from Compadres. Needed to get some kind of momentum, mistimed the bounce, but Porklet this time, he did miss the earlier cleanup goal off the ceiling, but thankfully, he's he's able to capitalize here.
There's a miss that Astro almost took advantage of, and Tool credited with the save, but he also banged into a teammate in the net. So Zookeepers do stop Compadres from getting one right back, and now they can go downfield. It is Bambi all alone, and ZPS will send this away. ZPS again, this time for Astro, met at point blank by Tool. It does deflect wide of the opposite goal, so Skills can go back and collect. He was hoping that corner boost would spawn. It did so behind him, so he's got to scramble back and get in position with still no boost available, and Tool almost scoring on the weak side behind him. Now Bambi will watch this one go out of his control, and Porklet turns it over to Skills, the last guy that Zookeepers want to see with the ball on this Compadres team, as Astro comes on and takes out Porklet.
And so far, the pressure has really been matched from Zookeepers. Starting to get some physical play as well, but here comes a double touch. Can he land at ZPS? He's been so strong as of late for the offense of Compadres, and he's been the key X factor to start a play.
It does feel like the Compadres are almost trying to bait Zookeepers on the defensive end. They're using a long pass in the backfield, getting someone to bite, and Skills scores here to give Compadres the lead.
And look at the patience from Skills. He goes up, doesn't even boost at all, waits for his flip, and just sneaks it under him.
That is the 11th shot for the Compadres, well over their season average. Zookeepers, they do tend to face a lot of shots.
But it's surprising because it doesn't feel really like a huge possession game for Compadres. Yes, they have strong offense, but Zookeepers, they've had some great chances as well.
It's almost like the Compadres are just throwing the ball at the net and hoping something sticks. And a couple of times it has, almost a third, but Tool clears that over ZPS. Now Bambi, quick turn onto this, has a lane to shoot through, and with some interference in front, Bambi ties the game.
The demo comes through as well. Off of a weird bounce with the 50, we see Porklet get the bump in the net, denying any clear from coming up, and they counter attack, tying the game up 2-2, 20 seconds left.
Tool will steal the boost from right in front of Skills, then try to play around him, hoping a teammate would come up. Nobody did. So now Bambi has a chance to find Porklet. No, cut out by ZPS. Few seconds remain before we go to overtime, and what a start it would be to our second to last week here in North America. Then having these two teams go to OT in game one, that's what we get. Now Porklet, he'll climb. He may try to play this himself, and instead it's off to ZPS, and Skills downfield, and very quickly getting back is Tool. So quick hitters on both sides of the field. No goals just yet. ZPS thought about running interference, but nobody was coming up. This could be dangerous. It's a double commit, though, for the Zookeepers. So Bambi has to run back, and he's got to say a prayer. Here's Astro, and Bambi makes the save. Skills, though, can keep this play alive, and Bambi is there to cut it out.
And what started out as a great challenge from Compadres and a chance, Zookeepers could have gotten a really solid punishing goal and win game one, but they couldn't finish it even after a double commit. So far, still tied up in game one.
It would be just like Zookeepers to drop this game, having come back twice and playing so well against this Compadres team that is the favorite on paper, but just not being able to find that critical goal, that critical weakness.
And Compadres, I mean, they're taking it really slow. Their approach to the ball is very patient. I really love that about their play style right now, is the way they're kind of looking at the field and making use of a lot of the space that's given to them.
ZPS got a late break on this ball, but does make the stop on Porklet. Now Astro with ZPS running into Bambi. Now Skills trying to drop one down. Came from the ceiling as well. And Bambi is right there. Good recovery and a great job not panicking by the Zookeepers. Now they're without Porklet. Tool's got to get there, and he does. And now nobody is back for Compadres, but just could not get around on the shot. And that should just about kill the attack. That's a clever touch by Porklet, but ZPS not fooled, and the Compadres don't lose their composure either.
And that's the second chance Zookeepers have got, trying to run away with a counterattack and break out of their defensive end. They've come so close. Can't help but think back to the double commit. And now again with a dribble. But the challenges from Zookeeper have been phenomenal. It just seems like Compadres have more possession of the entire game in the field.
The scoring here started with ZPS scoring from the side wall. And he almost got a shot off from a similar angle just now. Now Skills. Back downfield where Porklet will collect. He does not get the corner boost. That is still up for grabs. Skills will take it on his way out, and he may need it as he's got to come in and support ZPS on the defensive end. Another ball that goes over towards Skills and kind of hopped up on the corner there. So Astro will have to come out, make a block on Porklet. And both teams playing rather conservatively, but we've seen a couple of stretches where this game could have ended out of absolutely nowhere. Tool couldn't get a second touch there. And that ball is staying unpossessed for a while at midfield.
Seems like Compadres right now starting to shell up a bit on the defensive end. Shots just keep coming in, but they're not really anything overwhelming. You don't see any panic out of Compadres because the shooting game right now for Zookeepers is just rough.
You start thinking about a game like this, maybe some records, and there is ZPS. He started the scoring, and by goodness, did he ever end it.
And he's been so consistent right now on the offensive end, predicting his flip, getting a great bounce, and then another super tight angle from ZPS to put one in and take game one for Compadres.
And so it is the Compadres that survive game one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the shots are just ridiculous. 19 shots just for one side, and then another 11 on the other side. So you're looking at about 30 shots between these two teams. And plenty of saves to go around. Actually, I think for Tool, that ties a rival series record with 8 saves, a record that's already been tied this season.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. But it's weird because that's what I was saying. It felt like the shots for Compadres were way stronger, but the defense from Zookeepers was there. And then on the other side, we had really weak shots from Zookeepers, and then, just patient defense from Compadres. I thought they waited and took use of a lot of the space that was given to them, slow dribbles to get out of the field, and I think that's what gave them the edge because there really wasn't a chance for them to panic other than the double commit from Zookeepers, but even then they couldn't punish.
Could have been a breakout performance as well for ZPS. That looked like one of the better games we've seen him play throughout the entire rival series season. All the talk is, skills. And Astro, of course, has been a mainstay in the rival series for a while. But ZPS
definitely
making, I'm going to run the risk of sounding really dumb, I believe his rival series debut, and having that kind of a game in crunch time now. We're in week 4 in a must-win match. That's got to be huge for his confidence.
And there's no better time, like you said, Stacks, to show up. But now they need this win against Zookeepers. They want to have top 4 contention. And they also have another crazy matchup later today against Afterthought. 2 huge games for Compadres. And they're feeling the pressure, but they're not looking nervous on field at all.
A scramble in front of the Zookeepers net does not result in a goal. Instead, coming back the other way, it is Tool with his first.
As soon as I mentioned looking nervous, that we see a double commit, and they're just all over each other in the net. And a great shot from Tool as well. There was a goalkeeper, I think ZPS was in net, trying to get a save. He had a lot of coverage on the net, but still the shot was just too strong.
ZPS will follow up on the kickoff, but this goes right to Bambi, who does have the flip reset, but couldn't do anything with it. Tool will try to get this out to Porklet. Primary strategy for the Zookeepers. And Astro makes a save, but that was not pretty. I think ZPS threw him off, and Bambi will finish the job.
And now Compadres, it seems like the double commits are just everywhere. ZPS pre-flipping there to try and get a piece of it, and then the bump and physical play might have scared him off a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Zookeepers run away, and in game 2, they're up 2-0.
We compliment the guy one time.
Yeah,
and
that's just how it is.
Kind of made a mess of things.
I said they haven't been panicking at all, and then now we see just pre-flips all over the place.
Compadres, turn the stream off. You don't want to listen to us. Trust me on that. Skills over towards Astro, trying to get out of the zone, and that ball is whipped right back around. And there waiting is Tool, but nobody else. They only have 3 cars on the field after all. Now here's ZPS. Trying to get a pass ahead to Astro. Instead, Skills will back up the play. And that is well collected by Tool. Great control along the back wall. They are not out of the woods just yet, though. What a save by Bambi. Had to guess, and he guessed right.
And the shot from Astro was great as well. Bambi just making an even better save. The third rotation coming in a little bit slow, but they managed to make it work.
Little more than a penalty kick at that point. That is brilliant from Bambi. Here's Skills, though. Pinching that all the way around the corner. Nobody crashing the net, though. Now ZPS will come in, but Tool has that defended off the backboard. Now who will take this? Porklet thought about going up the wall. Now he does, and he'll take care of that ball from Skills. Another one lobbed in that is well defended by Bambi. Going to the backboard has not been working so far in this game.
What a save.
But then again, going at the net hasn't worked either.
Yeah. I mean, we just saw Tool. I mean, he got a pre-jump and was just floating, waiting for the shot. I don't think the goalkeeper would have been able to save it if he didn't do the bold move of pre-jumping, and he still managed to make contact.
See, pre-jumping does work every once in a while.
Yeah, it's really just a gut instinct that these players develop over time to just have that instinct and know where the shot's going to come in.
Tool collects a penny and will let loose with a blast that is saved by ZPS, played further by Skills, coming up and now into the second half of Game 2. And Compadres, it's not like they haven't had their chances, but it's been a spectacular defensive effort from Zookeepers. And not only that, Turtle, they have turned their defense into offense.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to see from them. Zookeepers, they're being aggressive as well. They're getting these shots on target. You know, in Game 1, I felt like they had so many opportunities that just went wasted due to poor shots and poor placement. But now, you know, they're doing some mind games. They're throwing in some dribbles. And Zookeepers, they've come to play here in Game 2.
Well, that's a great job getting over Tool, but again, nobody crashing the net for Compadres. As much as they are shooting, they are a little timid when it comes to crashing into the offensive end. Here is Bambi to bank one out. He'll have to play that himself. ZPS was all over him. That's a good ball back to Skills and a good reset for the Compadres, trying to get their first goal in Game 2. Try to claw their way back into this game. Make Zookeeper sweat a little bit. That's going to ricochet off of Porklet. ZPS got a piece of him as well, I think, and Skills watches that one roll home.
And you're right, look at the bump come in. We got a demo already, and then ZPS is just being a nuisance in the defensive net area, and he's just going to bump him in the middle of his flip. A free net to shoot at for Compadres and nobody back. Because you just assume at that point, if you're Zookeepers, you got to get boost. The starvation was coming through, the pressure, it was all on point.
They score almost 2 goals a game, and they give up 2 goals a game. The Compadres, they're playing exactly as they have all season long. Now they need one more in the final minute to at least force overtime. That's going to be blocked away by Tool. Bambi has that deflect off of, I believe, Astro. Loose in front, it was not a good clear, and Porklet gets the goal back.
And we're seeing uncharacteristic misses after Game 1. I thought the defense from Compadres was really solid. Then all of a sudden over here, big misses on the backboard. I believe in Game 1, actually, we did see a missed clear. That's about it, though. Compadres, the second goal where it seems like the defense is just lacking.
Skills around 1. Tool has to chase after this very quickly, and Bambi scoops one up off the goal. Now it is Bambi to send one away, far away.
No
what a
way.
shot from Tool, but Astro's there, but it doesn't matter much. Bambi is going to add another, and Zookeepers have put away Game 2.
And look at the shot from Tool. I can't even express how great the timing was with his flip. That's how he got so much power on that initial shot, and they were just forced to make a save. Compadres really running out of options here on defense.
The teams combined for 30 shots in Game 1, and it must feel like the Compadres have faced 30 shots from Zookeepers. because the shots that have come in, and they have been plenty, 11 in total, not many have been off the mark. The final seconds will tick away, and this series is all tied up.
Yeah.
You wondered what the Zookeepers are going to be like after losing that first game in overtime. Another one of those, oh, here we go again moments. Boy, did they come back with authority.
And I'm serious, man. Like, this is such a common trait amongst the rival series to see a team come out, so strong and so dominant in that first game, and then they end up losing and falling in the second match, or second game, so horribly. Like, it just becomes a complete switch around of play styles. Right there, Zookeepers, they switched it up. They were hitting every single shot, and they don't let any of the first game habits plague them in the next game.
And you talk about how different that game was from game one. ZPS, who factored in so heavily in game one, only one shot, just one, in that second game. And, well, the result speaks for itself.
And he's not even the guy we're looking at to make these shots. It's skills as well. So it's weird. It's like, where do you put the blame on Compadres? And if you are Compadres, I think it's really just the defense. It was just really sloppy from them.
Yeah, it's much better for the Zookeepers.
Yeah.
They controlled the ball a lot better in the defensive end. They didn't let Compadres get shot after shot after shot. And as a result, 4-1, a dominant second game win. It looked like early on Compadres had something going. They had plenty of great opportunities. But once those were turned away, once Zookeepers weathered the storm, it just turned into little more than just a light rain.
Right, and the rotations from Zookeepers feel very safe, and that's what I like about it right now, because you'll see maybe a member from their defensive end miss a touch, but then they always have the rotation coming in super fast to get some kind of a challenge and help out whoever misses the touch or is in a rough situation. And Compadres, they're not doing that. They're really banking on every single hit from their teammates, which is what you want to see, but if you're not making contact, it's not going to work out.
Well, let's break this tie, why don't we? It is, well, that tie has also been broken, and ZPS, right on cue, wakes up immediately in Game 3.
And he matches the amount of shots he had last game, but this time he actually puts it in the net. ZPS, again, coming in clutch, and it's not skills, it's ZPS this series.
3 goals in the series so far. He joins Bambi among the leaders so far. He's going to have a chance at another as he challenges Tool. And now Astro going to center one for skills coming on, and Tool is right there to make the save. Now Bambi, backboard play. That goes off of Astro, I think. If it did, it didn't come off very hard, and Tool will tie the game.
And another defensive miss here from Astro on the backboard. You have to make contact, and that's been something that we've actually seen from Compadres before early in the series, is timing the backboard bounces, and they're not hitting them.
Well, Tool is very busy in this series. Scores that equalizer very early on. Had the 8 saves we mentioned earlier in that long overtime in Game 1 as that ball's cleared away by Astro. He joins Monkey Moon and Tadpole in Europe as players with 8 saves in a game this season alone. It'll be Astro. Of course, he is the all-time saves leader in the rival series, playing 4 seasons. That will help a lot. Blocked by Porklet. Astro's got to make another clear. Not credited with a save that time. And it will be Skills with Astro right on his heels, trying to play this downfield.
Yeah, and I love the shadowing there of Astro, staying behind his teammate, waiting for the challenge. And I think when Compadres do own a lot of the midfield, it comes down to that. And just having very good spatial awareness of where to be placed at and how to follow up.
We're seeing a spirited attack from the Zookeepers. They've got a lot of shots.
Another
from
one?
about mid-range, right down the middle. That one from close range, and it's Bambi.
Yeah, and look at the utilization of the backboard. I mean, everybody at that point, 2 players banging it across, using the backboard, being so efficient with it. And Bambi has probably one of the easier shots this series because you can't really keep up with that if you're Compadres.
Bambi has scored 4 goals in this series. His teammates have combined for 4 goals. He's assisted on 3 of them.
Yeah.
Here is ZPS. Lobbing one in, Skills to finish. We're tied right back up.
The man we all wanted to hear from, Skills, finally puts one in and does it with fashion. I mean, he just outpaced his defender. And at that point, the pass from ZPS was too good.
3:16 remaining in what has turned into more of a marathon than a sprint in Game 3.
DPS, I thought I was going to get that angle. And so, I mean, it's the way he's positioned with his clears, I feel like Compadres really following up strongly.
It'll be Skills to lob one in that Bambi sends away. And back and forth, these two teams go. It's must win for very different reasons. The Zookeepers coming in at 1-5, they're going to need everything to go their way just to stay in the top 6. They still certainly have a chance, especially with a win here. Meanwhile, for the Compadres, they have their sights set on top 4, just getting into the rival playoffs, because top 2 is very unrealistic at this point. ZPS, 2 Skills. Astro is waiting, but he's going to have to keep waiting. Now he'll finally come up and play this, but Tool read it. He had the soul read on him, and now ZPS will have to play this out of his own corner. Porklet cuts off Astro, plays that ball back intended for Bambi, but it's ZPS who controls, and that's big for the Compadres. They get to reset on the defensive end and start bringing the attack to the Zookeeper.
And again, from ZPS there, we saw the patient play, the patient approach to the ball, waiting for it to hit the ground, and the panic as well from Zookeepers. That's what you want to see to control the game, control possession, is just be calm, patient, and only really use up all of your boost when you need to.
Skills banking one off the ceiling and not out of the zone. Dueling demos in front of the Compadres net, and it will be ZPS who tries to get this out of the zone, but it's brought right back in by Tool. Got a second touch as well, and Astro will try and do him one better. He'll even control this, but it's blocked away by Bambi. Well done on the initial surge. Now Skills has that one fall in his lap, and it's still saved by Porklet.
And what a save that was, Porklet. Skills had 2 back-to-back shots that were just heat seekers, and nobody, I thought, was going to manage to find the save, and yet here we are, still tied up, a minute left. The defense getting tested.
Officially fewer shots on net than the previous 2 games by a significant margin, but the action has not lacked one bit. In the final minute, it is sent away by Astro, or rather, after Astro got the demo. Now Bambi just trying to bank one out, and it will be Skills sending one on that Tool will send away. More importantly, though, out of harm's way for the moment and no immediate response. Now Porklet will deflect another out. With 20 seconds left, ZPS trying to play hero, but he's missed it high. Skills will try to center again, but nobody had jumped back into that center spot. They'd all retreated, and this ball is clear.
Pressure still on, though. Skills, he can end it.
And he was going to. Tool was in no man's land, but he's bailed out by Bambi, and we will go to overtime. And Compadres there, you can see, they were letting that ball go, and I think everyone started to sweat a little bit like, oh no, what if this actually gets to the ramp? Here goes Porklet, looking to make it a short overtime, and he's blocked by ZPS. Now Astro, breakaway, he scores!
No. Zookeepers, the defense, where was it? Skills with a great clear, but you still need to have a third man rotating back, just too slow. Couldn't predict the clear, but I'm still left here wondering, where was the third man? I didn't get a chance to see because it felt like Zookeepers, were waiting patient. The clear was relatively obvious, and somebody there has to be rotating back or at least try and get an interception off of the pass clear.
You had 2 racing back at the midfield line on either side, and the problem was, looked like, I think it was Bambi was almost stride for stride with Astro, just a little bit behind him. And he had to veer off for boost because he realized he couldn't get to the goal otherwise. And as a result, that left the other defender, which I think was Porklet. And he could not get back in time. It is an unfortunate mishap. And Compadres take advantage. They have a couple of overtime wins now. They are 1 win away from a huge win to start week 4.
I mean, it was probably the worst way you could lose in overtime. It's just an open net, rolling in. It can't get any worse than that, but Compadres, they respond again in this game. Game 2, I was really shaky on how they were playing. The defense was so off. We saw one mistouch this game on the backboard from Astro again, but that's about it from Compadres. Zookeepers also doing a great job. It was probably the closest one besides that first game that we had. And really, like you said, Compadres, match point for them. This is a huge game and a huge week for them alone because they're trying to break into that top 4.
For what it's worth, only numbers nerds will really care about this, but now the Compadres in overtime games, they have broken even at 500. They came in at 1-3, but they get a couple of OT wins here. It's different, though, the way they're playing in overtime. It feels like they are more aggressive and able to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming their way, where in the past, we've seen them get to overtime, and they just go into the shell. They almost play kind of a prevent defense. Unfortunately, the only thing prevents in Rocket League is winning.
Yeah, and that's definitely a mentality thing. I think when you go into overtime, it's so easy to give in and change how you're playing, be more passive, you know, be extremely cautious, and that just throws everything you have going for you out the window. Because, you know, not all your teammates are going to be on the same page. Usually it's way worse to try and play passive. Just keep the aggression up in overtime.
Porklet got a second touch that he probably was not expecting. And so Astro is at least able to control this for a moment. Now ZPS will finish off the clear and, in fact, put one close enough to the target to give Porklet a save as he clears away. Got the midfield boost, trying to put the pressure on Skills, but the ball does go all the way across. Tool will try to follow it up, but ZPS is right there. Bambi with a drive, similar to some of the shots we've seen out of ZPS, who has come alive in this.
Yeah.
That's going to be sent all the way back down, and now a chance maybe for the Compadres to put the pressure on Zookeepers. Tool against ZPS. Another ball that's going to be cleared away by Bambi. He does stay with this for a moment, but ZPS blows up the play. Another ball that's led a little too far away from Astro, and
just feeler games right now.
Yeah, where we've seen score early in every game so far. This one has taken on a much different tone, and I think the pressure is starting to mount for Zookeepers. You're not seeing them fly around the field.
And I mean, if you're Compadres, that's the best thing to be aware of, just staying passive, waiting for that one single mistake. But here's a great shot from Tool. Doesn't find the net. But that's the first amount of pressure or even scary shots come through for Zookeepers. Meanwhile, Compadres, they're just trying to break out their defense.
Well, now this is the Zookeepers we're used to seeing. That'll drop down, but out of harm's way for the moment. There, the follow-up is saved by Skills. Another rebound, a shot saved by ZPS. And Astro just got a touch there to prevent a shot from Porklet.
And I found that Compadres, don't do it to him.
Hello! Oh, it's CPS missing off the post.
And we saw, you could see the thread he was trying to connect, going for the double touch, so close to finding it. And Compadres, it's weird, their defense style is more of, they would rather just go for the save rather than kind of force themselves up and challenge the ball when a shot's coming through.
It almost looks like, and hey, if they did this, more power to them, it almost looks like Zookeepers slowed the game down, tried to lull Compadres into a false sense of security, and then immediately pressed the switch, and here they are. Tool gonna take his time getting around ZPS.
No way.
Around Astro as well, but it's Skills who finally makes the stop. But more zone time for the Zookeepers as they have controlled much of the last minute and a half.
I love the idea of Tool going for a mind game there. Almost getting the third man. He would have beat the whole team of Compadres. But so far, scoreless game here. We're almost done with game 4.
Porklet had to wait and wait. Now Astro missed on what was a wide open net, and Tool ranges over, just barely beating Skills. That ball will be on target as well and is sent away by ZPS. Well, now the action very fast, very furious, up and down the field. It is Tool. He has Bambi in support. We haven't said Bambi's name a whole lot over the last couple of games, but he's still there and he's looking to make his presence felt, winning a challenge, running around in front, hoping Porklet could get the ball to him. He could not. Now Tool. Couldn't do anything with that ball. Down to 47 seconds and counting. Porklet with a dunk. That will run just wide.
Time winding down, 38 seconds left. I mean, both teams very passive. Nobody wants to overextend and play that aggressive role. They're just waiting for an incredible shot, a difficult angle to come through. And it's almost like both teams at this point have accepted that.
Looks like they're just playing for overtime at this point. Tool. Out of the corner. Being marked by Astro. Good job by Bambi to get around him with only 10 seconds left. Will anybody make a push for the net? ZPS. He can play this himself. Astro waiting to support the play. ZPS does bail out, and we go to overtime absolutely scoreless.
Zookeepers, how are they going to respond? Match point, overtime for them. A crucial game for both teams. And Zookeepers, they got to be aggressive, stay aggro, finish these spots.
Porklet found the angle, and he gets by Astro. Doesn't happen very often, especially a shot with not that much power behind it, but it does fall in 16 seconds into overtime.
And what a pass from Bambi in the corner, barely finding a little pop on the ball, and that was everything, giving your teammate enough time in the air. And I think it actually beat out 2 players from Compadres, and they respond here. Game 4, Zookeepers stay alive, push game 5. Oh man, that was so close, such a low scoring game. I mean, literally only 1 OT goal.
Yeah, that was a, trying to come up with a word, that was definitely not the norm.
Yeah.
That they strayed so far away from what we've seen in this series so far, but yet again, yeah, this is my birthday gift, by the way. Every series that I've been out here for has gone 5 games.
I mean, that's the best. What else can you ask for, Stats?
Yeah, right? Well, hey, they have been fun to watch,
to
say the very least. And this one, absolutely no different. It has been back and forth. 2 teams at times throwing haymakers, and then just a little jab here and there. It's been great between Compadres.
Really explosive. I think that's the way to define it, because it feels like I said, both teams, they're kind of passive. They're just waiting it out, feeling out the defense. Then all of a sudden, you'll see like ZPS. He's been a great player so far this entire series, hitting these crazy shots. And then Bambi comes through. That pass was phenomenal. I don't know how he managed to pop it up like that and not get too much power, but he outbeat 2 defenders, got a great opening, and that's plays that we need to see from Zookeepers. I mean, they're not going to be able to break the defense, because Compadres right now, they're not making those mistakes they did earlier in the series where they just missed the backboard. It really comes down to outstanding plays like that to make a difference in the series.
For the Zookeepers, it's very simple. They got to win this game to even have a chance at finishing within
Simple
the top
enough.
6. And then they pretty much have to win the other 2 matches that they play as they finish out the season. Compadres, they finish their season tonight when they play Afterthought later. They need to win these 2 matches if they want a shot at the rival playoffs coming up in just a few weeks. This will be blocked all the way downfield. It is ZPS to intercept at midfield. He is going to wait and now finally head back.
I mean, if you're Compadres right now, you've been consistent against some of the great teams right now in rival series, some of the top tier, but have fallen short to a lot of the I guess, unfortunate teams and teams you couldn't really see them losing to. It seems like they can find momentum, but can't finish out when it matters most. Now here's a chance in game 5.
Tool was just watching that, and he's like, well, if this is on, they got me beat. And it did just barely miss. In the post, now back the other way. Come the Compadres, they want more. Astro did not get that midfield boost, and that might have affected how much power he got on that shot. Came in just a little slower. Now Bambi. Out to Porklet. Taken instead by ZPS. Tool is out of the play, and Porklet has to work a little overtime on the defensive end. Oh, how about this from Skills? Even better, the drop down from Astro here, putting one in front.
And fundamental rotations from him as well. I mean, he got the demo and then rotated in to find the shot. Skills really coming alive in game 5, almost a minute and a half in. And he's the player we talked about so much. We need to see him step up, and he does so at the best time possible.
These two teams desperate for a win, battle in Game 5, and the first strike belongs to the Compadres. It came after a couple of demos that set them up on the offensive end. ZPS downfield looking for skills, trying to add to that lead. Do not let a team like Zookeepers hang around. They've been allowed to hang around in this series, and you see the result. They are threatening to drag the Compadres right down with them. Porklet got one touch, and now Tool will come on. I think Porklet was going to try to play that ball. Tool had to come in, though. He had the better play. Now Bambi will have a look, trying to beat ZPS on the near side, and he just pinned it against the post.
And what a reaction from ZPS, barely using his flip to get any form of a hit on that save. I was looking at probably the worst situation you could be in with a huge shot coming in. And ZPS, he has been such a spotlight player this entire series, offense and defensively.
The theme you're going to hear us talk about, I think, a lot tonight is what might have been, as ZPS going to try to play the slow game against Porklet, got over him, but Tool is able to get back in time. And what might have been for the Zookeepers had they won some of these Game 5s
they
played over the season. ZPS pushes a shot wide. What might have been if he scored that?
Yeah.
A 2-goal lead. Now Astro, he can't finish. ZPS denied by Bambi as well.
And the second chance he had, ZPS, back-to-back opportunities for him. The placement just wasn't perfect. He had a couple of spots and slots he could have hit, but he just kind of shot at the defender. And Zookeepers, they get away with murder right now. Looking for some kind of chance here. They're still trailing by 1, but that was a really close call for them.
The Zookeepers have gone the distance against Afterthought, Bull Send, and Linked Up. They lost all 3 times. Will the 4th time be the charm? Another ball brought in front. ZPS has it. Pass across from Porklet. I think he was hoping Bambi would come up. But the communication not there in time. And a chance in front will be set all the way across.
And look at the shots from Compadres. 10 shots to 2. I mean, the pressure is on, but right now it's almost like Zookeepers have a lot of the starvation against Compadres. They're just not really putting anything on net.
Someone has to come up here. It is Tool, but I think he tried to play that low, hoping the defenders would just run up the back wall out of habit. Now is a chance, though, for the Zookeepers. Skills has to be very sure with this, and he's not. So now Tool's wrap around the board attempt is sent away. So too is that by Skills. Tool will try again. He has no boost to play with. ZPS has plenty, and he intercepts the play yet again. Skills has that go to the front. But that's a good team defense by Tool and Porklet. I think they both pinch that ball downfield.
Yeah.
And now Porklet, he
20
just
seconds.
stays right there with 20 to go, and a chance now for the Zookeepers. They're not letting this ball out of the zone, but now the attack is in dire straits. They only have 10 to work with, and another ball going the wrong way. Tool now over
Double
ZPS,
commit.
but not over Astro. They got to keep it up, get the ball in front. They do not, and the Compadres survive. They hand the Zookeepers their 4th Game 5 loss of the season, and with it, they have knocked the Zookeepers out of any contention for top 6.
And who better to put the final shot in than Skills, the shooter of this roster. Compadres looking to him for finishing, and he does just that. Comes through. I mean, that one shot we remember. I mean, he got the demo, created the crazy pressure and the defensive scramble of Zookeepers, and then managed to turn around and hit the shot when it mattered most. Skills, and mainly ZPS as well. What a showing from them. ZPS, we remember getting the save earlier in that game as well. It was crazy.
Zookeepers stood on their head, figuratively, of course, in the net to keep that game close. They just never had a chance until the very, very end to get any kind of offense, and that's been the story of their season. They have played everybody close, but they have not got the win when it matters the most, and as a result, now they drop to 1-6.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the Compadres, they are now 4-4. They play their final match of the season coming up later tonight against Afterthought.
And I'm still impressed. I mean, Zookeepers, I thought the pressure and the possession was strong. And I think that really, talks about where they went wrong, because against all these teams, they had such close series, right? But I think it's because they can have the pressure. It just comes down to opening up the opportunity. The final shot never seems to come through. They can never find the opening, the hole, and connect when you need to, because they have the possession, they have the passing, but whenever it comes down to it, you just got to make an opening, whether it's going for a bump or just a nice shot, and they couldn't find it.
Well, we need to take a break. I got some cake to deal with. But when we come back, Bull Send and Chaos Esports Club. Again, you talk about two teams desperate for a win, Turtle.
Yeah.
These two need one in the worst way, and this one could be very, very spicy. You don't want to miss it. It's coming up next.
I've got you hanging on my words. Taste so sweet even when they hurt. You wanna feel, wanna fall in love, wanna give it all up, but you don't want to lose your control. Are we playing this game? Are we playing this game? Are you too afraid, or are you giving in? Let the games begin, 'cause I play to win.
Hello and welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 4 of the North American Rival Series. We've concluded ourselves series number 1, and guys, it has been a surprising trend how many game number 5s we've experienced here today in our best of 5.
It's for his birthday, man. That's just how it is.
Surprise, Stacks. You get more Rocket League, man. Is that what you wanted?
Well, I go back to doing the DreamHack B stream with Dazran, and right before the final series, I can't remember, I think Reciprocity was playing, and I was like, oh, we're just going to have like a sweep and we'll be done, right? Because our voices were shot after doing the full weekend. And what ends up happening? All 5 games go to overtime. So that's what I'm expecting with our next series, because these two teams are pretty good.
Yeah.
They are very good when looking at our next series, and a lot to be looking at, I feel like, especially when you consider the left-hand side of your screen here, that of Chaos Esports Club. Some big names sit there in that roster, specifically 2 that stand out to me, Mektos and Corrupted G.
Yeah.
Taroko, clearly nothing to scoff at either, but Bolsend, a roster who has had success even in things like the DreamHack Pro Circuit. So I'm pretty familiar with this matchup to some extent, not the entirety of the results here in the Rival Series, but here actually, Stacks, what do you want to see here in this series, or is there any maybe statistical outlier for either one of these teams?
Yeah, this is a team that Taroko, I think, has tried to get Mektos and Corrupted G more involved at times, and eventually he's decided, look, if I'm going to be the guy, I just got to go and chase everything and score, and he's done that more than enough so far this season. This Chaos team is not as bad as their 2-4 record would indicate. All 4 of their losses, we talk about Zookeepers losing Game 5s, all 4 of their losses have been in Game 5, and they've played a ton of overtimes in those series that they've lost. The first weekend alone, they played on the B stream.
Yeah.
They played 7 overtimes out of 10 games. Just mind-blowing. There's always a post on Reddit, right?
Yeah.
That what would these teams look like if the other team won Game 5? Boy, this would be a much different season.
Definitely.
Well, I wanna ask this to you, Turtle. Then, number one is that to me would indicate a team that is emotionally driven and one that maybe cannot reel those emotions in when everything is on the line. They can build themselves up to possibly crumble, whether that be an OT or a game number 5. And then to double down on that, I also want to ask, is that farewell for a team that lives in an era that has more chaotic Game 5s and Game 5 scenarios than almost ever before in, to my understanding, Rocket League history?
It's weird because, like, I think you can speak this too, because you have been in the situation of just being a competitor in general. And I think that it's all about building the right, I guess, habits. Because whenever, say a team like makes it to Game 5 all the time and then they end up losing, that's something that's in your head every time you make it to Game 5. Every time, it's on the line, you think to yourself in your history, it's all about building a trend where it's strong. Because if you have a habit of losing Game 5s, then as soon as you come into another Game 5, you're thinking to yourself, I keep losing Game 5s. Please don't let this happen again.
Yeah, no, it very much, I think, is a mind game where you can get into your own head probably a little bit quicker than you would like to. But we are going to waste no time here. I've got to go ahead and ask for you guys on your predictions for, I feel like, one of our more competitive matchups here for North America. Do you sit on the side of Chaos Esports Club, or is that on to Bolsend?
This was probably one of the toughest predictions of the season, in my opinion. I think that Chaos, they are really misrepresented by their score right now, and I think they have a lot to offer for Rival Series in general. And with Corrupted G, the new addition, I think that they're probably going to come in here, and this is going to be the start to their season, the rest of their season, and that's going to be Chaos taking this game.
I think Chaos Esports is kind of the North American Method from last season. Method was a team that looked like they were completely out of it, and they managed to scramble into a top 4 spot. I think they do that this time around as well. I think that Chaos starts coming back here. They can beat this Bolsend team, and they do so probably in 5 games, because why wouldn't they?
Well, for me, I think I've been following a trend of following the teams that I know and have some of the biggest names so far and the ones I feel most comfortable. But even though there may be bigger names on that side, I actually am going to go with Bolsend here. And the reasons for that are obviously, some of the recent success and also within Rival Series itself that we've gotten here from Bolsend with a pretty successful record so far. And lastly, for the meme of, what happens when you mess with the bull. You're going to get the horns, boys. I don't know if Chaos Esports Clubs have the...
Wait. You can't be doing this here, man.
Look at Stacks knows what I'm talking about.
I don't
Hook him.
Hook him up, man.
Wade. I don't even have a proper response to that. But you're still that's why you're going Bolsend? Okay, just a follow in?
To be honest, this was competitive enough that I wanted to be the dissenting voice. And I don't have a strong enough argument really when it comes to Bolsend.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an upward trend for them. Yes, they are a formidable team, but you're looking at extremely well-versed Rocket League players on the other side. So I realized I had to throw a gag in there somewhere because it is breaking the trend I've been following.
It was painful but beautiful at the same time.
Well, hopefully the Rocket League action that we're about to watch unfold is a bit more on the beautiful side of that spectrum here, guys. Let's take it away.
It is not without merit to pick Bolsend by any means. This is a team that, of course, they are led by Com and Stokely, who have scored a lot of goals together. They, at one point, had a combination that would have made the likes of even the Knights and teams like Barca in the RLCS a little bit jealous. But they have cooled off a little bit, and they had a match last week where they did not play nearly to the level that has been expected of them. So this is going to be a nice little bounce back for them, and one they need if they want to finish in the top two.
And Bolsend, I mean, really a team that just came and bursted through the ceiling onto the scene, surprisingly enough. And Taroko, he's going to deny him and get the first goal.
Oh, I have teammates? No, it's a great challenge by Corrupted G, but Taroko, he is always going to be there. And ever the optimist, scores 10 seconds in.
Right.
Chaos Esports Club trying to set the tone.
And Stacks, I want to talk about it. I mean, you said that Chaos, they have the chance, and you think they're going to make the run, this late season run to really, make a name whenever they have failed to do so much in the beginning of this season. And they definitely have the schedule to do that. After this game, they have Upper 90 and Linked Up. So if they want a chance in terms of, statistically and who you think should actually win, it is probably going to be Chaos for those last two, which makes this Bolsend match even more important. And Taroko again puts one in.
And this time it is Mekdos who gets the assist. That's just Stokely being left in an impossible spot. He's expecting a shot, no doubt. And as soon as that pass goes across, he is dead to rights. But yeah, this Chaos team out to a great start against Bolsend. And as you mentioned, this is the last of that Murderer's Row type of schedule.
Yeah.
And to go to 5 games against all the other heavy hitters, not every other team in the league is doing that. You're getting some very valuable games on your game differential, and that's going to come back to help them a lot if they're able to get to 5 and 4.
Yeah.
But there is a long way to go before we're talking about Chaos at 5 and 4. They still have to close this game out, and we've seen Bolsend put up goals in bunches. This will come out of the corner, and Corrupted G thought about challenging. Instead, he'll give away to Mekdos. Taroko is waiting on the side. He's going to rush back, and now the ball headed straight back into the Bolsend end, and it's going to stay there for a while because Chaos Esports Club, they are circling the wagons, and almost scoring there was Corrupted G.
Chaos, they have been running away with the possession game. Really great passes. I love what they're doing in the corner and how fast they're getting this ball into the midfield. It's really what's helped them, especially with that second goal from Taroko.
Well, now Stokely trying to play his way through. He's stopped by Corrupted G, but he can't get past Calm. And Taroko has missed this out of the corner, and Corrupted G had to rush back in a hurry. A rare miss from Taroko. We know that he and Mekdos are a deadly duo.
And I really think it's that synergy that has paid off so well for them. Adding a Corrupted Gabe I mean, or Corrupted G, sorry. Just it's a habit calling Corrupted Gabe.
Hey, he was equal with you once upon a time. You were both players at a very, very high level. That's going to be sent away.
And that's what I'm saying. He's been in this situation. If there's anybody to be, kind of like a liquefied player to adjust to any play style you need to fit in, it's going to be Corrupted G.
Mekdos trying to spike down on one. Now Taroko to center for a moment I thought himself, but he did have Corrupted G waiting. And now Stokely has missed this. Corrupted G very quickly into the offensive end, and Taroko slams on the brakes. For once in his life, he will go back.
A good read from Com there. Intercepting the pass, getting in the way, and now they have pressure all because of that interception, but it still seems as though Chaos, they're strong on defense, not letting up, and still, look at these cross-pitch passes. They go into the corner, and then they get a great pass inward, and it's almost too fast and too high to even have anybody in the middle.
Taroko and Mekdos have had a good week so far, but it's Stokely who scores here, and he just had a defender really struggling on the back wall. Corrupted G ran out of real estate.
Stokely, one of the top 4 strikers in the league right now, averaging about 0.8 goals per game. And he really is the guy we're going to look at if we're going to see any difference on the offensive side.
Corrupted G for himself. Doesn't need a teammate. He scores immediately off the kickoff.
Another response, or excuse me, the first response actually against Bullsend. It's a kickoff. It feels very routine because at the beginning we did see the first goal just was so fast from Taroko.
Right when it looked like Bullsend was going to get back into this game, Chaos eSports Club there to knock them down a peg. And now here is Corrupted G, who has come alive on the offensive end over the past couple of weeks.
And that's the second challenge that Gabe has, I keep doing it, Corrupted G has really just outshined the enemy defense. Is just those challenges. The first goal from Taroko was actually off of Corrupted G's challenge.
So this will be Mekdos trying to find Corrupted G, or at least get that ball centered for anybody. And there is Alexander, or Taroko, if you prefer.
Yeah.
And now it will be Mekdos retreating, trying to run lead blocker Calm. Now Corrupted G looking to put the finishing touches on game 1. And what a start this would be for Chaos. Again, in a series they have to win. Maybe even if they're looking at top 6 the way this season has gone. This will be sent away by Taroko, and more possession for Chaos means fewer opportunities for Bullsend. That might have been the last one right there, because they've got to score right now to have a chance at a kickoff goal to tie, and they do not. 7 seconds and counting, and Chaos eSports Club are going to take game 1. And man, did they look good in doing it. Taroko was flying everywhere, and it paid off.
But on the other end, it feels like Bullsend, they're starting to gather some kind of momentum. The pressure has been a lot stronger than what we saw at the beginning of this game 1. And I think the demos, the physical plays were really coming out Bullsend. They got that first goal with Stokely, the main striker. Like I said, they're going to be looking for him if they want any chance right now in this series. But Chaos, like you said, they're strong. And it's weird because a team like Chaos, with the record they have, you just don't understand how it happens. But then you look at all the Game 5s they went to, all the teams they did play, and right now, this is the time for them to make a run in the season.
Stokely had a big game for Bullsend. He had 5 shots. His teammates, 1 apiece. Not good for Bullsend. It looked like Chaos just had a stranglehold on that game for much of it. There was that stretch where Stokely scored, and it looked like, okay, Bullsend, they're done playing games now. This is the Bullsend that we expect to see. And then Corrupted G scoring immediately off the kickoff just dashed any of their hopes. Looking ahead to game 2, obviously don't give up kickoff goals. That's easier said than done at this level, it seems. But what else does Bullsend have to do to push that game behind them?
I mean, it's all about cutting off the passes. I think we saw Com do it a couple of times in that first game, was being in the way of those cross-pitch passes that Chaos have been so good. And it's really hard, actually, because the way that Chaos are doing it is they're doing it has a lot of power behind it, meaning trying to predict and be in that spot is going to be risky, because if you miss the interception, it's going to end up being a goal because you're out of place and there's so much space for Chaos to make use of. And that's where it comes down to being aggressive, being in their faces, and not even letting them actually make the pass. If you can beat them to the ball, then that's really all that matters right now. But Chaos looking strong. Bull Send, if it goes by anything that we've seen so far in all the series mostly today, it's that they're going to have a strong response here in Game 2.
Taroko could not make contact coming off the flip reset. And the shot from Mektos is blocked away by a couple of Bull Send defenders. And that is how we start game number 2. They scored 10 seconds in, did Chaos in game 1. They do not score nearly as early this time around, but they're going to have another chance on the offensive end if Taroko can control this. And lucky for Bull Send, Calm was right there to stop him. Now to Stokely. There is Stokely. And he gets the second goal for Bull Send.
And here's the response, carrying the momentum from the first game. What a pass from Calm, beating out the defender. And then Stokely, the finisher, the cleanup man himself, comes in for the shot.
If you were watching on the B stream, you would have seen, this would have been over the weekend, you would have seen Calm reminding all of us that his name is short for communications. What a nice, friendly, PG-friendly guy. This will be Corrupted G, having the ball taken away from him. Taroko does have a full tank of boost, and he may need it because Corrupted G and Mektos having a lot of trouble with that ball at midfield. Will find Corrupted, though. And that pass did not have the legs to reach Mektos. Stokely will have that drop down, and Corrupted G bangs it away.
Stokely could have gotten a double touch there. Actually had that setup. There's not enough boost, I don't think. So far, Chaos, they've been stuck in their own end. Need to break out, connect something. But right now, look at Bull Send right there. Even we saw a huge stop from Bull Send. They're keeping the pressure.
Corrupted G out of the corner, trying to center, and that's well blocked by the defensive Bull Send. Now Stokely rushing onto one. That's going to be intercepted by Corrupted G. Well done by the defense of Chaos as they try to keep this just a 1-goal deficit, and they'll turn their defense into offense, and it's Corrupted G remaining involved in the attack.
Even off the double commit, I didn't expect this to go their way, but Corrupted G, he just keeps following up and manages to snipe an open net on the side of Bull Send, and that's a little bit weird. You'd expect somebody to be rotating back there, mainly after the double commit, and yet Corrupted G, he's happy with that.
Teams have combined for 7 shots in less than 2 minutes. Buckle up and expect more of the same. Stokely will get another shot, and he dropped one right onto Mektos. Another great challenge by Corrupted G, but he does not have the boost to chase it down. Now Stokely. He'll get the double if Taroko lets him. Taroko does not. Dino pops one up that will go harmlessly through the zone, but he also got a demo on Taroko, so that will hinder Chaos.
Oh,
and
another
Taroko taken out again by Dino. Almost like he's just running back and forth trying to pick the spawn points. And now Calm just has that go to the corner.
It's actually relatively easy to get a double demo in that situation. If you can manage to steal the corner boost and then just keep driving around, rotate out through the other corner, you might get lucky with the spawn over there and just find another demo. And it's so tilting if you're on the mentality side of Bull Send.
The shot goes right at Dino, and he's able to put the nose on the ball and send one all the way back to the Chaos side of the field, but only for a moment. Now Mektos, he's feeling it. To the ceiling, and he almost put that pass exactly where he needed to. Calm got the demo, but he had to back away from the play. Did not get the redirect coming off the corner.
And that was a great chance, Calm. If he just kept with the ball, he might have been able to get another pass off, but here comes a demo. He's going to take that instead. And the physical play from Bull Send is really dominant.
Unofficially, 3 demos in the last minute and a half for Bull Send, trying to create almost a power play situation.
Yeah.
Taroko, he can play this off the backboard, but Stokely up the back wall to make sure he does not. Taroko trying to get a piece of Calm on his way through, and Calm very calmly sends it away. This will be right at Dino. And Stokely will play it further downfield. Bull Send can regroup and get ready for another venture into the Chaos zone. That wasn't a very good one. The first touch got away from Calm. Now Taroko loses control there. to the final minute. Who will blink? Calm might have there as he misses. Corrupted G, though, was left in an awkward spot. He had Turoko fly in front of him, and Gabe did not expect that ball to drop down to him.
And a lot of space as well. I mean, Bullsend, they're really bringing it to chaos in these last 40 seconds.
Mekdos will just dump that one back in and go back for boost, almost like a hockey line change. Turoko with 30 to go.
Big clear.
Another one down to the Bullsend end of the field, but again, it's coming right back. Back and forth they go. Someone's got to make a mistake, right? As Calm pops that ball up, Dino recovers along the back wall. That is intercepted by Mekdos, and Corrupted G is up for this quickly, but he's pushed it wide. No follow-up from Turoko.
And Corrupted G had a shot there. 5 seconds left. The pressure's still on for Chaos. Mekdos can't connect anything. They're going to let it drop. And now we have overtime here in Game 2. Bullsend trying to make a comeback and respond to that first game.
At one point, I think Dino was the only player on the ground sitting inside the net, just going, please don't hit it my way. Corrupted G from the ceiling, and it's set away by Calm. He's got a savior medal, and now he might have an assist on the game winner from Stokely, if not for the efforts of Mekdos. Another shot from Calm. That's blocked by Turoko. Lots of saves to go around between Chaos and Bullsend in a game with huge implications up and down the standings.
Mekdos.
He is free. He got the flip reset.
Away.
And he will score!
What?
Mekdos in OT!
What a play from Mekdos. This was beautiful. He had so much space in the air. He goes under the ball. Mekdos, you monster. What an aerial ability. I mean, I can't believe he hit that. That was nuts.
That is what we've come to expect from Mekdos when he is on his game. What a performance. And just look at the saves. They speak for themselves.
And there's an OT goal for you.
Yeah, 16 total saves between Bullsend and Chaos Esports Club.
Wow.
6 coming from Calm alone. He did everything he could on the defensive end to give Bullsend a chance, but it was not to be.
And I love the decision-making from Mekdos in the final moments. He recognized all the space in the air, right? And then he takes it up, and it would have been so easy for him to go for a backboard hit or some kind of double touch to keep it safe. But it's literally an overtime. The stakes are so high, and he says, you know what, I see all this space. I'm going to take it. He had the confidence to even go for the flip reset, but other than that, he actually hits it, which is the impressive part. I mean, come on, Mekdos, what a way to finish overtime. And Chaos now, they're up 2-0. This is a strong start and something different than what we've seen so much. It's a common habit to see the team that doesn't go up in the first game just instantly respond back and destroy the team, but it's not happening.
By the way, my favorite stat of the day, I finally get to. We've been talking about overtimes a lot and records and such. That was Chaos's 11th overtime of the season. They're now 7-4. They've played 25 minutes and 32 seconds of overtime this season.
That's too much overtime.
Bullsend, by the way, 0-3 in overtime. Yeah. They've now played 1 minute and 26.
I mean, if you're Chaos, I would be losing hair at that point. Overtime's one of the most stressful parts about Rocket League, and yet they hit probably one of the most impressive shots of the season. Mekdos coming in clutch.
And now Turoko got a bump on Calm, and he floats this one in. Chaos in front, 6 seconds in.
Again, so much space, a back left kickoff strategy from Chaos. He makes use of it, not by hitting the ball, but actually going for the demo, Turoko. That was just being a bully.
Scraping the bottom of the barrel and going deep into the bag of tricks. Chaos Esports Club have saved their best for last as they are up 2-0 in the series on Bullsend. And now they're up in game 3. They're up a pair as Turoko just waves his magic wand yet again.
Look at this, Turoko. Thank you for the angle and thank you for the space. I don't know how we managed to hit that. Somehow, I saw him going for it. Normally you expect to pass from that type of angle and the way he's approaching it, but he hits it. And that's another highlight play from Chaos.
It's another highlight play from Turoko, as he has been on fire throughout this series. Mekdos scoring that overtime winner, I believe the only goal he has this series. Turoko now, giving away to Calm. Here comes Bull Send. They got a demo that took out Corrupted G, and Stokely scores a banger.
And they respond with physical plays, the demo. Bull Send, they're really the only team right now that are utilizing that opponent, or that mentality of just chasing a team or the opponent. That's really what you got to do, is just chase the other guy down the field, try and create an opening, and they're doing just that.
It will be Chiroko to send one out, and now he and Corrupted G are both up the back wall for this. And Chiroko landed awkwardly in the goal.
There it is.
Easy pickings for Calm, but Stokely missed the open shot. Missed opportunity, to say the least, for Bull Send, as they still trail by 1, and Corrupted G almost made him pay. Now Dino, intercepted by Corrupted G. Chaos looked like they were going to concede 2 goals very quickly.
Yeah.
Instead, they've only conceded 1, and now they've had a little more time on the offensive end. That could be coming to a screeching halt, though. Dino coming on, he does not score. This team, Turtle, Bull Send, they've scored 3 goals, all 3 coming from Stokely.
Yeah.
And it's just been a goal in each game.
And a lot of them have been, with the demos, the physical play, bumping, being a bully against that defense. And they're trying to create openings, and it's working relatively well. But sometimes it comes down to a pressure shot where you have to hit an open net. And they haven't been doing so.
No.
What a pass. Are you serious? What? Chiroko in the air.
What?
The air dribble, and then he gets it off the backboard? Are you kidding me?
That is spectacular.
All right, I understand. I see the abilities they have. They're showing off for us in this game.
I don't think we're getting a 5-gamer out of this one. Corrupted G to the corner. There is still a lot of Rocket League to be played, though. And Bull Send, they can come back, but that's got to be demoralizing to see Chiroko and Mekto score the kind of goals that they have in this series. How do you combat that?
I mean, a lot of it as a player is you just have to it's all about how well you can shake off a goal like that. You see somebody get an incredible shot, something so mechanically driven, like the Mekto shot, or anything like Chiroko using the air dribble to get a pass off the backboard. Nobody expected that. And as a player, you just have to respond and just, wipe it off your shoulders. Just shrug it off. That's all it is.
Chiroko got a late break on this ball, and Dino finally adds to the scoring for Bull Send, and here comes Bosco's boys.
And a poor clear from Gabe, trying to use the corner. Dino, he's coming through. It's a banger off the crossbar. Closing that gap, it's 3-2.
2:11 to go. Bull Send not dead just yet.
Yeah.
Chiroko, hoping Corrupted
Another
could
demo.
get there. That's a decent challenge by Calm. Stokely can only pop this up. Needed a second touch, didn't get it, but Dino can almost walk this in. He had to deal with Chiroko at the end. Easier said than done. Calm will circle around and bring this down. Now he's looking to start a highlight reel of his own. Dino out of the corner. Here comes Stokely. Got the challenge, but Mektos makes the save. Not done yet, though. Dino, another strong pass down to Calm. That is blocked away by Corrupted G. One-on-one with Stokely. And Dino at the side flip away. That is not a good ball, but it is worked out in the end, at least for the moment, and Calm makes that save.
And nobody expected that side flip, but now Corrupted G getting a good response with the demo. That's what you want to see. Respond to the bully play and be as aggressive, especially whenever you have Bull Send, trying to collect something, which they're doing so well of, trailing by 1, and they're starting to put heat on Chaos.
Stokely will pop this away, but it is away from Calm, and Dino was on his way back to the net. Now Chiroko trying to weave his way through aerial traffic. Final 45. It is Calm.
No.
Trying to show one up here on Chiroko and Corrupted G. Hasn't worked out. Good pass in front, but Dino was on his way back. By the time he turned, it was too late. Calm got a piece of Chiroko, and Mektos has to scramble in front. Here comes Stokely to tie, and is blocked by Corrupted G.
And look at the passive play from Chaos. Everybody's so passive. I mean, the respect is coming out from Chaos against Bullsend. And so many shots, but there's a double commit. That's not ideal at all. Bullsend, final seconds right now.
Yeah, Dino saw Stokely had that ball, didn't think he had another touch. I'm not sure Stokely knew if he had another touch, but a miss is costly, and Taroko, the Grim Reaper, finishes the hat trick.
This is how the game is going to end. Taroko just capitalizing on so much space. The over-aggression from Bullsend, you can't blame them for wanting to try and find the equalizer. And 3 seconds left. Chaos, they've done it with such great mechanical abilities. Like I'm still in shock at all the goals we saw.
A spectacular performance from Mektos and Taroko. If I had to count it up really quickly, what did they combine for here? 7 goals and 6 assists between them. Oh, by the way, Corrupted G, he was all right too. 2-2 for Gabe. And look, a much better team effort than I think we've ever seen all season from Chaos Esports Club. And we talked about it before. Save their best for last. They certainly did.
Yeah, and if they're going to make a run, this is their time. They just beat out Bullsend, who is number 2 in the league. And now they come through swinging with probably some of the best mechanics we've seen so far. I mean, maybe Charlotte could match that. But even then, how are you going to save a flip reset with that much space in there? The way Mektos used his car. And then Taroko coming into Game 3. Are you serious? The backboard play, everything was flowing and on point for Chaos.
Get a load of these results for Chaos. They go 5 games and lose to Afterthought, RBG, Charlotte Phoenix, and Compadres.
Yeah.
And then they come up with this win over Bullsend, the last of the big 4 that they had to face in the rival series.
Where was this?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that was, if I remember correctly, one of the results that the Charlotte Phoenix would have needed to lock up top 4. I will double check in a moment. But who does know all of that? James and Subi, and they're going to have Charlotte Phoenix coming up in our next match. They've got Zookeepers, who have just battled everybody all season long. Now they get to go against the consensus best team in the league. Don't go anywhere. The top dogs, Charlotte Phoenix, are up next.
perfection, I was the mess. I lacked emotion, you did your best. I was behind you through every step. You lost your way and you fell instead. Fell instead. Fell I never told you I could give it all away. I never begged you or held you down to stay. I lack contentment, you lost your joy. Built your resentment, it was a ploy. I lack contentment, you lost the joy. Built your resentment, but it was all a ploy.
Welcome back here once more, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 4 of the North American Rival Series, where we just witnessed Chaos Esports Club really, making Bolsend run faster, it felt like, than running with the Bulls at some point in time there. That was a very dominant performance, a 3-0 sweep in their favor. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Wade Dreadnought Penfold, and of course, we have some guys up here to break down some of the action over today here with me, and it is none other than Subi and James Bot. Guys, I think how it was put by our past casters was, where was that all season?
I have no idea, but those shots, that flip reset, I made an earlier call today that Rizex's shot, his flip reset was going to be the best shot that we'd seen. Honestly, I might have to compare those shots.
Go back and watch the tape after?
Yes, that was a stunning performance there from Chaos. That was great.
To say the least about him. I mean, those shots were incredible. The passing plays were incredible, but Bolsend just didn't really seem to show up that match. So you could say, where was this Bolsend team all season? Because this wasn't them. This was not Bolsend, not the Bolsend we're used to, at least.
Absolutely. Usually calm, so talented. But, if you're Charlotte, you're enjoying that. You're happy watching that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, being able to spread themselves a little bit farther when it comes to the standings and ensure their positioning a little bit more due to that result coming out from Chaos. But the action here for North America is clearly not coming to an end, as we do, in fact, have Charlotte themselves. Charlotte Phoenix is one of our 2 teams in our next series, taking on Zookeepers. Our second glance of them here on today's stream, already with a loss on the day. And guys, judging by the names on Charlotte Phoenix and the success that we got, or the lack thereof, from Zookeepers already today, I have a hard time imagining that this is not just another W under their belt, really.
No, the Zookeepers looked very good going up against the Compadres. A lot of goals put on the board, but unfortunately, it's not going to be that easy up against Charlotte Phoenix. They are a very defensively stanced team. They do very well transitioning from defense over to offense, so Zookeepers are going to have their work cut out for them, that's for sure.
And Shadow, what a pickup he's been. This is the old Splice roster.
Yeah.
They got dropped by Splice, and now Charlotte Phoenix, the new name. And Shadow was coming in to fill in for Nose Dude, and there were questions around, how good will Shadow be? And I think what he's proved is that he was a great pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got, 22 goals on the season. He's leading his team in that regard, and then also putting up assists as well. He's just all over the place for this team. You couldn't have asked for a better pickup because Karma and Jay Wiz just have such a good connection with each other, knowing where each other are on the field and having that camaraderie and bringing in a new player that didn't disrupt it at all is a good thing to see.
Yeah, and this is the best season to be hot. Top 2 automatically getting in, so can they keep it up here? This win would be massive for them, and then, their season will shift to focusing towards that promotion tournament, which 2 spots up for grabs.
The first thing I was going to ask before you guys went into that story was just about, clearly I knew a little bit about Splice, but not with Shadow coming in for Do With The Nose, right? So you guys, in short, he has been absolutely outstanding, it seems like, based on the tone that you guys have given so far. Is that, almost like an outlier at this point, the way you guys are painting it?
Oh, if you haven't watched any rival series this season, watch out for Shadow because he is going to make highlight reel plays up and down the field. He is so fun to watch, but with the way this season's going, he's not going to show up at all now that I've heard.
Well, you never know, right? With Bull Send, we expect that from Com, and it didn't happen. But then Mekdos was also just insane. Any given day, players can step up and play well.
Right.
But up to this point, Shadow has proven that he is RLCS caliber, and Charlotte is on that hunt to get it back in, and who knows? Maybe we'll see more magic from them once they get in.
Well, it's time to see whether or not the Zookeepers can really bring a big enough of an upset and maybe cause a bump on what feels like the upward trek that we see here from Charlotte Phoenix themselves here. It is time for our predictions in this series, guys. I have a hard time imagining this is going the other way. Is everybody sitting on the Phoenix side or what?
I'm going to have to go ahead and say yes to that one. They've only lost once this season to Bull Send, and I don't see Zookeepers doing anything to upset Charlotte Phoenix's hopes at number 1.
Zookeepers, they got their hopes eliminated. They are going to be eliminated from the rival series. Charlotte will probably be finishing towards the top, so I've got Charlotte.
I had, for some reason I was coming up with some way that a Bull somehow counters a Phoenix in some way, shape, or form, but the Zoo might be enough to be able to handle it. But I wasn't witty enough to be able to.
A lot of moving pieces there.
TLDR is I'm also with Charlotte Phoenix. Clearly a very, very skilled roster, and to be completely frank, always been a Karma fanboy, so I'm excited to be able to see the action that they have here. And I think we're going to waste no time here, guys. You can go ahead and take it away. I'm excited to see here what we get here from Shadow, the way that you guys have been talking about it.
Thanks, Dred. And Subi, what do you think we should expect from Shadow in this particular matchup? Do you think this is a Zookeepers, they've had a struggle, only one series win, but multiple game 5s, even against some of the top teams. Do you think this is going to be close, or do you think this is one that Shadow and the team are just going to run away with?
If Shadow shows up, there's no question in my mind that this is going to be a 3-0 sweep in favor of Charlotte Phoenix.
You're calling the sweep?
I'm calling a sweep if Shadow shows up. If he doesn't, then the Zookeepers have a shot at this one. This is going to be a tough matchup, though, that's for sure.
Game 1, Charlotte up at the top of the leaderboard, and NA going up against Zookeepers down at the bottom. And Shadow almost on cue, getting an air dribble goal.
Looking comfortable here, starting in game number 1. Orkla with a good carry, but you can't expect to have the ball that long going up against a team like Charlotte Phoenix. They're just going to put tons of pressure on you.
Already getting that pressure mounted. Karma waiting for Jaywiz. Jaywiz the pass down, and Karma just hitting that ball wide. Didn't make great contact. Porklet, we saw him have some pretty good goals earlier in that series loss. Bambi as well. Karma launching that towards the backboard, a hit downfield. Jaywiz cuts in front of Bambi. Now Tool will push that forward, get the boost steal. Stops Shadow from getting it out. Karma will go for the clear off the ceiling and down. And Jaywiz will clear to the corner. Off the corner now, back out into the middle. Tool. Just send that long.
And speaking of Tool, if the Zookeepers team is going to be successful against Charlotte Phoenix, he needs to absolutely step up He had 2 goals and 2 assists earlier on in the day against the Compadres, but he's going to need to do a lot more if his team wants a hope at winning, and a good block there from that man I was just speaking of, Tool.
Tool getting the block off of the air dribble from Shadow. We've seen him go for a couple of those already in game 1. Karma passing over to Jaywiz. Stopped by Bambi. Comes back out to Karma, who hits it straight up off the ceiling. Will look for a solo play. Gets the dunk. The ball bouncing into the corner. Bambi clearing down the sideline. Shadow there. High hit off the ceiling and down to Karma. Karma off the backboard. Chance for Jaywiz, and that's a save from Tool.
If he puts that to the left or right, more than likely going to be a goal, but he fired it right down the gut at the defender that was just waiting for it. And an easy save put on the board, but they're not done. They're continuing to batter the corners, and Karma capitalizes.
That splash goal explosion not getting old. As Karma off the pass from Jaywiz, Porklet and Tool both out of position to get that stop. The Charlotte Phoenix just at the halfway point about getting this first goal. Subi, you predicted the 3-0 sweep. So far, Charlotte has been dominating the possession.
Yeah, Zookeepers just need to push forward a little faster, taking a little bit too long to make challenges on the ball, giving Charlotte Phoenix way too much space.
Jaywiz off the backboard, down. Bambi gets a piece of it. Karma, a quick turn. Will turn away. Shadow passing down. Double commit from Zookeepers. Jaywiz hits it over to Karma. Karma back to Jaywiz, going for the shot. Bambi broke up that play. Karma still keeping the pressure going. Shadow coming in. Tool is able to hit it downfield. Long hit to Karma. Puts it up off the ceiling. Porklet dropping it down. Tool missing the ball, perhaps thinking Shadow was going to come for it as well, going for the challenge. Karma denies backboard. Controls it past another. Tries to get the 50, but can't get the win. Also missed the boost in the corner and now gets demoed. Bambi turning to make the save as well. We're seeing Zookeepers get in the Phoenix half, but not really able to put anything towards net. And now an infield pass, that shot wide from Shadow.
And the Zookeepers right now, they're doing a good job of trying to get into the offensive half of Charlotte Phoenix, but there's no second follow-up coming from them. They have an initial shot that's going to get blocked pretty much 100% of the time against Charlotte Phoenix. You got to get creative here. Bambi looking for a double tap, but Karma already up in the air, puts it into the corner. Perfect clear and a great pass forward, but that one snipped out by Bambi. Good little bump there to get Karma off the ball.
Physical play, ending any hope of Karma getting a shot. Great positioning. Now a team bump. Jaywiz and Shadow running into each other. Jaywiz now over to Karma. That shot blocked at its origin. Now Shadow double tap, gets the pass out to the middle. Tool breaking up the play. Another one bouncing towards middle. Karma down to Jaywiz. Jaywiz with the shot. A beautiful drop down pass from Karma.
Just a dirty passing play from Karma. You look at Bambi, he thinks that's a wide shot, but in sneaks Jaywiz and puts it right inside the post, putting the nail in the coffin for game number 1 in favor of Charlotte Phoenix.
They had possession a majority of the game. Zookeepers had a window to get back in it, but like you said, Subi, not able to find that shot at the end of their effort. Charlotte Phoenix, on the other hand, wonderful passing play to cap off this game.
And this was the Zookeepers' opportunity. Shadow, no goals, no assists, pretty much quiet. He had 5 shots. Only one of them really had danger to put a goal in the back of the net. And Zookeepers let this one go by the wayside. Game number 2, they need to speed things up, and they need to get Porklet the ball. Interestingly enough, and I know that you don't put a lot of weight on shooting percentages, but this one might blow your mind. Porklet on the season is shooting 40%. 40. That is unheard of.
Yeah, you see he's got 0 shots. So, I mean, he's not making that record any worse.
When he shoots the ball, half the time he's making it, basically. So feed him the ball. He needs to get involved. Half the time we were watching him, he's nowhere in the offensive zone.
And maybe that's just from a result of play type. Maybe most of those goals are cleanup goals. And so he needs his teammates to generate those chances for him to come in and clean up. And we didn't really see much of that. We saw Zookeepers attacking the backboard or trying to get the ball upfield, but every single time it seemed like Karma was the one shutting that play down, getting the backboard denies, and then starting the attack upfield. And Charlotte just controlled every quality opportunity in that game.
Well, to speak to your point of those cleanup goals, if they're going to be present on the field, you got to make defenders dive for the ball. And that just wasn't happening with Charlotte Phoenix. They were going for saves, holding on to possession, keeping the ball close to their chest, and just pushing the ball right back into the orange zone. Game number 2 about to be underway. Zookeepers looking to tie the series up.
Let's see if they can feed Porklet. He did impress me with his shots earlier today. Porklet racing back. Hitting it upfield. Karma will turn for it, centers it. Bambi's up, so is Tool. It's now left to Porklet. Porklet lobs it deep. This one gonna go off the backboard. Great touch from Tool. The shot coming in. And Zookeepers, they get on the board.
Great team transition play. The pass forward from Porklet up to Tool, and then Bambi cleans it up. Not going to miss that opportunity of a wide open net, and the Zookeepers get their first lead of the day.
That pass from Tool off the backboard, that redirect pass, that is what you need. Make defenders miss, and then get a quality bounce off the backboard. Bambi back out to the middle. Karma hits it far downfield. Porklet pops it up. Ball's bouncing back to the middle. Jaywiz will get a long shot. It's going to be just high, and Porklet will send it off the ceiling. Tool, follow-up touch. Porklet chasing it down. Karma getting bumped out of the way. Jaywiz up the sideline. Karma will take over. Interfered with by Bambi. Ball up into the middle. Hit across the net by Jaywiz. A block from Shadow will send it off the ceiling. Bambi hits it downfield. Jay was cutting the play off. Will chase this down again. No, he leaves it for Karma. Now head off the ceiling. Shadow putting it off the ceiling again. A miss from Jaywiz. Follow up from Karma. Double commit. Shadow and Karma both going for it.
That's a rare double commit coming out from them. And Tool gonna take advantage of the turnover in their zone. Here comes Bambi off the backboard, but Shadow well read off that backboard. Good transition once again from Charlotte Phoenix, and a good demo from Karma. Can't open things up as Bambi clears that one away.
Bambi, great speed. Now the shot opportunity. Karma able to score it off the pass from Jaywiz.
Jaywiz and Karma just connecting with each other all over the field. Both times they've scored together, they've been assisted off one another. It's a beautiful thing to see, and they tie this game up right under 3 minutes.
The rotations never got back in order after that demo. Charlotte Phoenix getting that equalizer. Now another chance. And a breakaway opportunity. Porklet sees the net open. Or Tool rather sees it open and just has a wide open net.
And Charlotte Phoenix sent the house there. A beautiful 50-50 from Tool, just hammering that one all the way downfield, then just has to put it between the dotted lines. And again, Zookeepers go up, but can they hold on to the lead is the big question.
And we will find out. Approaching the halfway point. Karma towards net, blocked by Bambi. Jaywiz, low boost, sends it over to Karma. Karma, the shot opportunity! A strong shot underneath the crossbar.
And they are just synced together perfectly. Jay Wiz fires this downfield, and Karma knows that it's coming. And this is what makes Charlotte Phoenix so difficult to play against. All three players are always expecting a pass no matter where they are on the field.
A thing of beauty. Jay Wiz connecting with Karma. Now a demo. Karma on Tool. Shadow will send it to the opposite corner. Karma was waiting, picks up full boost, pops it by 2. 2v1, Karma stays with it. And the shot overpowers the final defender. Karma with the hat trick.
Getting it early as well. Still 2 minutes remaining, but a good shot up high, and Bambi can't quite reach it. The Zookeepers, their rotations are starting to haunt them.
Karma, an excellent individual effort. She just blew past the defenders, the solo goal, and her shooting really standing out for Charlotte. And this one off the ceiling, Shadow tried to pre-flip towards that ball. Karma, the backboard pass. Second effort, blocked. Third effort, Shadow, he will not be denied. Charlotte Phoenix pile it on.
Shadow gets his first one of the series. Keep your eye on Jay Wiz taking defenders out of the picture, and Charlotte Phoenix go up by 2.
Charlotte striking the ball with authority. Bambi sends this off the sidewall. Shadow clearing it up. Porklet was in the air. The net vulnerable. No one can get back, and the 5th goal goes in for Charlotte.
And Jay Wiz just toying with his food at this point. Sees the defender going back to net. Decides to just take a chance and fire one on target. Gets his first one in game number 2, second of the series.
Karma with the hat trick. Shadow and Jay Wiz both with a goal apiece. And now a strong shot off kickoff. That's going to be blocked. Double commit, however. And now another double commit for Zookeepers this time. Porklet racing back. Dunked on by Shadow. Now counterattack. Porklet rather hits a strong hit upfield. Karma on the outlet. Gets it off the backboard, but Bambi breaks up the play. Jay Wiz across net. Porklet moving in. Puts it off the backboard, and now a block by Bambi, bounces out, and Jay Wiz will get this save and clear it.
Oh, Karma taking 2 out with 1 strike.
And then I believe it was Shadow got the other one. All 3 players for Zookeepers demoed.
What better way to give yourself possession than to take all of your opponents off the field? And Jay Wiz taking Tool out. Charlotte Phoenix playing with a purpose right now.
Can really see that they are head and shoulders above many teams in the rival series. Zookeepers not out of it yet. Maybe out of game 2, but the series could still be turned around. Shadow dropping the ball down. Porklet centers it. No one there for Zookeepers. Karma keeping possession. Jay Wiz wanted to tack one more on the board. And we see it get hit down to the ground. Charlotte Phoenix dominate in game 2.
Well, they're just seeing what's available to them on the field and running up and down through the openings. And when there aren't any openings available, they create their own with those demos. And right now, the Zookeepers just seem to be playing way too reactionary in this game. They need to create opportunities for themselves. Right now, they're just waiting to see what Charlotte Phoenix does. And when you have players like Karma, Jay Wizmont, and Shadow up on the field that can do anything in the air and put the ball anywhere in 1v1 scenarios, you can't play like that against them.
It's tough, especially when they're doing all the things that you should be doing. They're doing it to you. We see the passing from Jay Wizmont. Karma getting a hat trick. We saw the solo goal that she had. Charlotte are just looking better, and Zookeepers struggling to keep up in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, and Zookeepers backs against the wall right now. They're down 2 games. I really feel like you just have to throw everything at this game. You just say, you know what?
Ball chase, is that what you're saying?
Ball chase.
Just ball chase.
Ball chase, demo, just play like you're playing solo standard. Just don't even care. It's one of your last games of the season.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. Try something new.
Throw everything, including the kitchen sink.
This cautionary, just static gameplay isn't working. They need to be dynamic right now, and right now Charlotte Phoenix is reading their gameplay, so switch things up.
Yeah, got to risk the biscuit, just start playing a little faster, and if you make mistakes, so be it. The last game of the series, if Charlotte can get the win here. Zookeepers, they've struggled to keep pace. Jaywiz downfield, getting some assistance. Karma off the backboard, going for the bump. Tool dodged it. Now Tool getting challenged. It kicks back to the middle. Karma has to challenge Porklet, and Jaywiz gets the demo.
See, that was good speed right there, but then just wide open. Tool and Porklet rather went all the way back to gather up some boost. Stay at midfield. If you got 30 in the tank, you got 30 in the tank. That's what you have to work with.
Just turn and go for it. And the demo's still coming out. Porklet has to jump over it, getting bumped there. Jaywiz has plenty of boost to contest this ball and does get the challenge.
Oh, you're
Karma
kidding.
Off the backboard. Ball kicked out. An infield pass to Shadow. Charlotte are picking Zookeepers apart.
You just can't defend these plays. Karma with the hard redirect, and then Jaywiz with the soft touch to find Shadow in the box. Charlotte Phoenix go up by 1.
Charlotte Phoenix, the distribution is there. Jaywiz with the playmaker last game. The vision to find Shadow. See multiple Zookeepers going for that ball. And now another double commit from Tool and Bambi. Ball floating up in the air. Karma just going to double back. Oh, risky bounce. Porklet was just too close to the action. Gets the demo, however. Shadow wanted to pass it over. And gets the clear. That was a precarious spot.
Yeah, what a double touch. No one expecting that one, and it turns into offense for him, and Karma turns that one away. Porklet looking upfield for Bambi. Bambi over to Tool, but Shadow saw it coming from a mile away.
Jaywiz popping it up for Shadow. Shadow, the shot down. His second. Jaywiz, he's feeding him.
And he's just starting to heat up, James. And he is dangerous when he starts finding the back of the net. Does exactly so here in game number 3 as Charlotte Phoenix are up by 2.
In absolute control of his car. We see the play off kickoff from Charlotte Phoenix. Going to the drawing board for that one. But the shot from Shadow, he was in full control of his car, air rolling the entire time, and also just getting the perfect air roll so he's spinning into the ball to just get that little bit of extra power. And the shot, is it too much? It is! Karma, the third for the Charlotte Phoenix as they just batter Zookeepers over and over.
That one just a little too spicy to handle and just dies on the goal line and barely dribbles its way to the back of the net. Karma getting her 5th of the series.
Looking for the 6th as that's turned aside by Porklet. Bambi in front of the box, and Karma will take over. The shot coming in, Jaywiz does well to save it. Another shot, it's going to be high, bouncing out. Follow-up, another opportunity. The shot's continuing to come in, but Zookeepers can't break this Charlotte defense.
Got to be creative against a team like Charlotte Phoenix when you've got this many veterans on there with some RLCS experience, behind them to boot. They've seen it all. You can't just fire just plain shots on net.
That won't cut it, especially with the types of goals Charlotte has been putting in. And another opportunity. Jaywiz looking for Karma in the middle. It was just out of her reach. Porklet low on boost, gets beat by Karma, bouncing off the backboard. Tool is there. Help from Bambi. But now back out to Karma. Karma going for the 50. Shadow's there, pops it by Tool. We'll have some space. Pops it by another. Porklet, the last defender left, hits it off to the side. Jaywiz, he's been able to find his teammates in the mid.
Yeah, I'll say playmaker in this game. He had 2 assists in game 2 and 1 in game 1. He's got 20 on the season.
And even had a playmaker last game as well. So he has been lights out from a distribution standpoint. Jaywiz forcing that ball to get popped up. Karma letting the hit come in. Gets the block off the backboard, racing to it. Net vulnerable, not much boost. Went for the flick, and Bambi was there for the save. Under a minute left. Charlotte Phoenix, pure domination so far in this series. Time running out for Zookeepers. Shadow upfield. He'll leave it for Karma to air dribble. Just playing defense right now. Want this time off the clock. As Charlotte Phoenix inch closer and closer to that 6-1 record, which would leave them all alone at the top, and Karma puts one more in for good measure.
She's just inching closer and closer to 20 total goals on the season, that one being her 19th total. And Jaywiz with yet another assist here in game number 3. Charlotte Phoenix with this
No one's going to be able to touch them.
No one are going to be able to touch them because they still only have 9 losses in the entire season.
This will move their game differential to plus 11 as Charlotte Phoenix sweep the Zookeepers.
And what I liked most about this Charlotte Phoenix team here in game 3, when it started to get away from the Zookeepers, the gameplay didn't seem to change for Charlotte Phoenix. You see a lot of teams try and have fun, joke around, all right, let's go for cute little plays and things like that. Not from Charlotte Phoenix. They've got a game plan, they're sticking to it, and they don't want bad habits to form. They're just doing their work. Hey, we're clocking in. Okay, right now it's time to clock out. Now they're going home to celebrate.
Just another day in the office,
Exactly.
And they really handled their business. The passing was there more than any other series that we've seen today. Zookeepers were giving Charlotte space, and Charlotte were taking that space, and most of it was Jaywiz. He was finding Shadow, finding Karma in these openings and just giving them these shot opportunities that they were sinking. It was great.
Well, and when you're not scoring, you're not going to win games, and Zookeepers were unable to bring that offense, and that's because Charlotte Phoenix is a team that passes, and that's what it takes to be at the top of the pack.
And that's the same thing we saw from the old Splice roster with Nose Dude, was that this was a team that knew how to play as a team. The sum was greater than the individual parts, and that's the way Karma makes her teams. That's the way she plays, and they got the win here. They're sitting at the top of the leaderboard in North America. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, the last match of the day. Compadres going up against Afterthought. Stay with us.
Welcome back again here, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 4 of the North American Rival Series, where we just witnessed a pretty convincing victory coming out from Charlotte Phoenix themselves over that of the Zookeepers. You know, there's a lot of animal names when it comes to North American rivals teams, but really it turns out we've learned today that the Phoenix actually sits atop the animal kingdom.
Yeah, the Zookeepers couldn't keep them in their cages.
They flew. I mean, yeah, they.
I thought you were going to say they flew right on by. I was like, I love this animal.
I was thinking about it, but then I chose better.
You know, that is a wise choice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
a level of maturity that maybe at least myself and Subi do not, in fact, have. But any thoughts here over that last series? Were you surprised with anything, or was it kind of just another day in the office here, not only for your expectations, but it felt like that of Charlotte Phoenix?
I think Charlotte Phoenix proving they are number one for a reason, and we just witnessed why. They take care of business, and they know how to play Rocket League at the highest level.
Absolutely. The shooting from Karma and Shadow was a thing of beauty, and the passing from Jay-Wiz all around. Charlotte Phoenix just putting on display their skills, and they know what's on the line this season. This is the most important rival season to date, so they're showing up at the right time.
Yeah, Karma was disappointed with their performance last season in RLCS. Don't want another one of that one, so they are just going to prove, hey, we deserve to be there again. We're going to just march on through the rival series and go right back.
What a tale that's been, really. You know, the level of heart and commitment, I feel like, from that roster, really from appearance number 1 within the rival series, has been very, very impressive. But, you know, Charlotte Phoenix and the rest of the squad is not the only roster we are keeping our eyes on here. Clearly, we have another match here for you guys at hand, and it's going to be between Afterthought and Compadres. And Afterthought is definitely a roster where a couple of names pop up to my mind that were a little bit more recognizable there with Sathu and Dapper. But, you know, is there anything that we can expect here, maybe from you, Subi, that you want to see for either side here of the teams down on the pitch?
Well, for me, it's got to be on the side of Afterthought. Last week, they did win against RBG, but the thing that has me scratching my head is Sathu had no goals in the entire series, and it went all the way to game number 5. So I think if they're going up against Compadres, who looked very good today, they're on a winning streak right now. They did beat the Zookeepers. They need Sathu to contribute on the field. He needs to get some goals to help Dapper and Shock out.
I agree with you 100%. Afterthought, this is a critical moment in their season. Going up against Compadres, Afterthought, a win here would greatly improve their chances at a top 4 finish going into the final week of league play for the rival series. Afterthought, you know, these names are all players that you have heard of. Dapper and Sathu, players that we saw compete in the RLCS. Shock was a player, you know, that was teaming with players in the past under the same name at WSOE who are now RLCS players. So you look at that roster, you expect great things. However, like you said, Subi, Compadres, they were playing well earlier today, so it's not going to be easy.
No, I've got a lot of faith in this Compadres roster. They've proven a lot of times that they are a high production team when it comes to offense. They just aren't too reliable from game to game. They tend to really have some inconsistencies from game 1 to game 2. It sometimes looks like a different team. Going up against Afterthought, they're going to need to play consistent every single game because this is one of the best teams in the rival series. But one thing that I do know is if you are a fan of the Phoenix, you're rooting for Compadres because with the Compadres win, Phoenix are guaranteed a top 4 spot.
And what does that mean? If you're top 4, then you are going to be going to that rival series playoff where 2 teams from the playoff will get in to the RLCS no matter what. And if you lose, if you're one of the 2 teams that lose, you still have a chance by playing the 7th and 8th teams in the RLCS for a chance again. So this is a situation we might see only one time in the history of Rocket League eSports. Four teams from the rival series could potentially get in to the RLCS next season.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting when you put it that way, because you are right. It could be one of a kind. You know, the moment that we witness something that may never be witnessed again. So now we got to go ahead and ask here on the series, who do you think, in fact, will win it here between Compadres and Afterthought?
Oh, this is such a hard question for me. I love both of these teams. Dapper, one of my favorite players in the entire Rocket League ecosystem. Compadres, you got Astro Skills, ZPS. I met all those guys up in Toronto. I'm going to just cut to it. Afterthought. I have to pick them in this one just based off their record, their gameplay, and how this matchup really looks on paper.
Yeah, I'm going with Afterthought as well. I am a big believer in this squad. These guys are 2 former RLCS players. I think they're going to get back. So Afterthought for me.
And as always, outside of, I think, one outlier case there, I've been sticking with what I am most comfortable with in those names that seem a little bit more recognizable here to myself, and it sits on the side of Afterthought as well. A very formidable team here, but, I can't help but feel like after the way that we saw games play out today, I wouldn't mind if it goes the other way here. The fact that we get to ensure one of those teams that is very, very dominant here so far with that of Charlotte Phoenix. But we're going to go ahead and get our last series here for our stream of North America underway. Boys, let's get it done.
Thank you, Dredd. And Subi, we'll say it again. If you are a Charlotte Phoenix fan, you are rooting for Compadres here. You want them to get the win because if they can, that top 4 finish is going to be invaluable. Charlotte Phoenix can then coast to the finish, and you still want to finish. Top 4 is good, but top 2 is the best because one of those teams is guaranteed to get into the RLCS. So Charlotte Phoenix fans rooting for Compadres, but Afterthought is going to be a staunch opponent for these guys.
I don't think that this is going to be a 3-0 sweep like I predicted in the last series.
And you were right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just have to say, well done.
Thank you, sir. It feels good sometimes.
How to do it.
Sometimes you get them right. But I'm not that confident in this one to even call a 3-1 or 3-2. These boys on the Compadre roster, very dangerous, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do win. I just think Afterthought has a little better shot, as you were talking about, with the experience of the veterans on this team.
And you know that the history of these players must be lingering in the back of their opponents' minds as well. As the net is vulnerable, a quick start for Afterthought off the pass from Dapper.
And it takes 6 seconds to put the first goal on board. Dapper showing his speed right away with a beautiful pass over to Sathu.
And the selflessness, he gave his life for that goal. Now kickoff again, Shock with the challenge, bumps Sathu. Now on the other end, 2 kickoff goals. 10 seconds, 2 goals, and we're back at the start.
They just said, hey, all right, we're going to reset. Let's restart game number 1, take 10 seconds off the clock. And that's how you want to answer if you're the Compadres.
The pinch off of Shock. I think it was Shock, and then they ran into each other in the back. See if another quickly off kickoff goal takes place. A lot of action following the kickoffs early on. This one, boom, downfield. And that hit from Astro was very risky.
The precision just on display there, the confidence in his shooting ability.
He knew he had to make the touch, and there wasn't room to make a mistake. That would have looked bad. Dapper off the back wall down, and the dunk sends it right back to Shock. Another shot coming in. Shock quickly getting up behind that ball. ZPS harassing him. We saw ZPS getting physical in the previous series versus Zookeepers. Double commit from Compadres. Sathu shooting towards net. Skills got back in time. Off the ceiling, ZPS clears it to the side. Sathu waiting, centers it. It's popped up. Dapper, shot towards net. That one blocked.
And Afterthought starting their offensive surge. Good 50-50 there from ZPS. And Astro waiting patiently for the touch from Dapper. Gonna go ahead and turn around, and their Skills booming it up to ZPS. Great pass forward, but Sathu with an even better read to clear all the way down to the orange box.
Big clear from Sathu would relieve the pressure. Now the attack is on. Sathu shot towards net. Skills well saved, hitting it to the corner. Dapper can't center it. Now the counterattack is on. ZPS flicking it past Sathu. Tries to get it past Dapper, but it goes straight up. Astro off the sidewall. Skills couldn't get it. ZPS was there. And now Skills. A high hit off to the side. Dapper misses the hit. Sathu will take over, gets the clear. And Afterthought are out of trouble for now.
And if you're on Afterthought right now, you got to put a little GPS tracker on Skills. He's one of the top goal scorers in the rival series. He has 28 coming into this series.
Got to get those alerts set up. Don't let Skills near the net. Shock. Can't get it. Skills with good speed. Stay with the ball. Plenty of boost. Dribbles by one. Tries to mind game another. It's popped straight up. Double commit. And that hit goes wide. Skills turning on it. An Afterthought under attack right now. All starting from that Skills pressure.
They're definitely under a lot of pressure, but all three members perfect as far as boost is concerned. But here comes Astro off the ceiling, gets the second one on the board for the Compadres.
Astro doing it all by himself. Sathu was just a bit too slow, and Astro, the speed, decides in a split second to just continue driving up the ceiling, jumps immediately, never lets go of boost. A speedy boy, Astro, getting the go-ahead goal for Compadres. And we're under the 2-minute mark. As another save comes out from Compadres. Backboard bounce, Dapper drops it down for Shock, and Shock hits that post. The follow-up threaded by Sathu.
What a picture-perfect shot from Sathu. Had the smallest target to aim at and goes inside that bottom left post. ZPS couldn't quite reach it, goes off his fingernails, and Afterthought tie the game up.
That placement is, you can't really ask for much better placement than that. Sathu sniping that corner. Shock will take this back, gets the boost spawning in time. Will have plenty of boost to work with, stays with the ball. Shot towards net. He made Astro stretch for that one.
I don't think anybody was expecting the amount of power he got on that Astro. A little bit of boost and just missed that double tap. Good attempt there, and Dapper clears things up for his team, gives him a little bit of breathing room, but Shock coming in, a little bit of miscommunication on the side of Afterthought. Let's see if that haunts him going into the final minute of gameplay.
Sathu did a good job there of stealing that boost. Now the shot from Shock, just wide, pressure continuing to mount. Dapper gets the boost steal. Shock off the corner, counterattack, shut down by Sathu, but it's right back out to Skills. Dapper clearing downfield. ZPS leaves it for Astro. Astro getting harassed by Dapper. Or Shock, rather. Now Dapper getting bumped out of the way. Skills blocked by Sathu. Center ball, that's not what you want to see. Scary moment, Sathu passing it into the middle, and now Astro just missing out on that shot opportunity. Compadres on the late attack. Shock upfield. This one touches the ground, and we've got overtime. Game one tied at 2 apiece. Next goal going to take the win.
I told you, James, this is going to be a close matchup. Compadres going to give everything they have to keep their top 6 dreams alive.
And a massive stop from Shock. Those reads difficult to make under pressure. Easy to misread those and cost yourselves the game. Long hit, Skills last back. To the corner, Astro out to the middle. Over to Shock. Shock goes for the shot. Oh, he had the pass opportunity as well. ZPS gonna get that touch.
Oh, great demo.
We saw multiple overtimes in the Compadres and Zookeepers series. Compadres coming out on top in that series. Chance to get another overtime win. The shot. And now a 2v1. Dapper passes it over. It's flipped up in the air. And Astro will take over. We saw Astro already make one play on the ceiling, thinking about going for another.
And right now, Afterthought doing a great job with those demos to open things up. But Compadres just staring down the face of adversity right now, refusing to be turned away. Shock puts this right back into the corner, and a dunk off that back wall. Skills clears the ball to the side, and we continue to play in overtime.
Back and forth. Astro picking up full boost, but his teammate's low. That hit, net could be vulnerable. The miss hit from Shock. He's not able to connect. Looked like he was going for the center pass. Now popped up in the air for Dapper. Dapper by one. Almost getting the double tap, and it's cleaned up from Sathu. Afterthought with the win in overtime.
And what a way to get a hat trick. You carry your team to victory. But the pass from Dapper, so ever important to boom it all the way downfield. And Afterthought come out of game one alive.
You called out Sathu.
And he listened.
He certainly did. A hat trick in game one. 3 goals on 8 shots.
Pretty good performance from him, but a great performance from Afterthought as a whole. You've got 17 shots in game number one. That's just some offense right there. They're just peppering the net, just trying to open it.
Compadres were right there with them. There was a few key moments, though, where the Afterthought defense held strong. We saw Shock getting that key touch off the backboard. I didn't see who it was that got the second touch in overtime to prevent the shot coming in, but some scary moments there for Afterthought. Compadres looked fierce on the offensive side multiple times, so this definitely not a one-sided affair like we saw with Charlotte Phoenix versus Zookeepers. This a much closer match. Afterthought barely getting away with a win on that one.
Well, the Compadres haven't been swept the entire season. They're going to make it a tough series for you. They're not going to hand over wins to your team easily. They're going to make you put up a fight, and that's what we saw. Afterthought, one of the best teams in the league, and Compadres looking like they're matching them pace for pace, blow for blow, up and down the field, and their defense is what allowed them to stay so tight in this game, but they can't rely on that too much, especially with 17 shots put on the board.
They were giving a lot of space to Afterthought to put shots on target, but there were also those 2 kickoff goals that we saw at the start of the game. But, I mean, they kind of washed each other out. 10 seconds in, we had 2 goals already. Can't forget about that.
Just helped Sathu to get his hat trick there.
No kickoff goal this time. As game 2 gets underway, Dapper, the challenge. Skills is up. Gets his flip back off the ceiling. Didn't help him out too much there. He will get the corner boost and get back. Save from Astro, hit upfield. Skills was there waiting. ZPS gets the bump. He didn't have enough boost for the shot, but he did manage to get the bump.
That was a great idea there to try and take out the defender. Couldn't read the ball. That's a very difficult read with that low of boost, but didn't know it wasn't going to find its way. The pass and shot a little too high. Skills is going to want that one back.
What an effort that was from ZPS, however, at 0 boost to get that pass. Compadres controlling the momentum in game 2. Another infield pass forces Shock to backflip into it. Shock going for the challenge, does win that 50-50 and gets the boost. Ball kicks out into the middle. Sathu and Dapper both dive for it. Shock will have to buy time, and he does, hitting it downfield.
Great clear to put power on it, to put his team into the offensive half, and Dapper shoots that one on target. ZPS was already up, so kind of scrambles around and just decides to launch this into the blue corner. Astro's up, coming off the ceiling, and Shock reads it well.
Shock playing great defense all around, even in game 1. Just all over the place, getting stop after stop.
And he already has a savior medal in game number 2. There's still 3 minutes to go in this game.
Perhaps he can double up. Shock with the challenge. Ball out into the middle. Dapper going for a piece. Sathu hits it off the backboard. Been thinking about going for that double tap, but he saw the defender in position. Sathu racing to it. Bouncing down, double commit. Sathu has to get back in time. It's a race. Astro couldn't get the boost. And you see him not able to get the hit. Nobody clipped that. The ball's finally cleared.
Oh,
Dapper,
boy.
the dribble pass, and Shock with the finish.
Dapper putting his dribbles skills on display, carries this into the box, says, here you go, buddy, and Shock puts it down low, puts the first one on the board for himself in this series.
This is not the Lethamyr dribble challenge, Dapper. But he made it look like it. That dribble pass, putting it up on a tee for Shock. Dapper, the shot, and Afterthought get another one quickly.
And Dapper, with his first goal of the series, wants to get involved on the offensive end. Nobody home for the Compadres, starting to just scramble on defense.
You saw ZPS was trying to clear that ball downfield, ended up just centering it. Didn't get much contact on the ball, but got enough to put it in a bad spot for his teammates. ZPS, great pass. And that one off the post. We've seen multiple quality passes from ZPS that just don't get the shots that are needed.
Yeah, that's two now that they wish they had back. Should have been goals. And this game should have been tied, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. And Afterthought holding on to this lead.
Sathu up the sideline. Shock will help him out. Astro can't flick it by. Dapper was going for demo as well. Shock getting a piece of the ball. Skills will go upfield. Centers it. Another shot turned aside. ZPS going for the backboard. He'll be out of boost. Skills off the backboard. Astro can't get there in time. Astro completely out of boost. ZPS doesn't find that bounce, but he got the bump. It looked like. The flick stopped by ZPS. Compadres keeping Afterthought locked down in their half right now. And that shot from ZPS. Where was this angle?
That's what I'm wondering. Where did this angle come from? Comes off the side wall and carries it through. Looks like he bumped Shock to open things up. But ZPS scoring right when the Compadres needed it most. Under a minute to go, still down by one.
Those 2-goal swings can happen so quickly. We've seen it with just seconds left on the clock. Compadres, new life for them in game 2 after that goal. ZPS to the corner. Skills is waiting. Shock is there. One more goal for Afterthought. That would put this one away. Compadres looking to tie it up. Dapper in the air, challenge. This kicks out to the side. Shock down towards the backboard. ZPS slows the play down. Skills trying to help out. Shock keeping the ball in the half. ZPS, a booming hit. Sathu's up, going for another dunk. It's kept up by Skills. ZPS is there. The shot, and that's going to be saved. Hit down to the ground, and Afterthought get the win in game 2.
Get the win in game 2, and once again, just by one goal, the Compadres keeping it so close. But you have to wonder what could have been if they buried their opportunities when they presented themselves. There were at least 2 that were wide open that were just missed.
Well, I mean, I would have loved to see what the situation was there. Were they out of boost? Were they just barely out of position? What was it? Because it seemed like ZPS had 2 really good passes to his teammates that seemed like they could have been scoring opportunities, ones that could have gotten them back into it. They could have very easily won this game, but like you said, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Doesn't matter if you don't hit it in game time. That's all the difference is.
Well, a lot of times it seems like players think that they have less time than they actually do, so they rush the shot. And I think for Skills, that's what happened there. He didn't expect that net to be wide open, and he was going for a power shot to try and get it by the defenders, but there were none there. So he shot it high, and it went off the crossbar. You got to be able to read the field, and it's milliseconds how you got to read the field at this level of play.
And sometimes those moments that are the difference
between
winning a game, sometimes even winning a series. So Afterthought, a 2-0 lead now, a big advantage going into game 3. Reverse sweeps are pretty rare. We did see one earlier today, but against a team like Afterthought who's up there on the leaderboards, this is going to be tough.
Well, Afterthought doing everything they can. They're not going to put their fate in other teams as far as this season's concerned. They're trying to hold on to the 11 losses. Game differential huge. Right now, they're only down 2 games compared to Charlotte Phoenix. They want to keep it that close. They want to be in that second spot all the way at the end of the season, and that's what they need to focus on here. Close this game out. Don't put another loss in your loss column. They're probably going to win this series, but you don't want to lose any more games.
You want every advantage possible. Game differential could be that key factor, like you're saying. So can they close it out here? Afterthought going for the sweep over Compadres. Compadres not out of it just yet. And they have been sticking with Afterthought for in Game 1 and Game 2. Both of those games were close.
Yeah, like I said, within one. But when it comes to playing a team like Afterthought, you're not going to see a lot of opportunities come where it's an open net. It's just not going to happen. A team like this doesn't make too many mistakes. So when they do, you have to punish them. You have to say, you messed up. You really messed up. You're going to go down on the scoreline. Just didn't happen. And Afterthought sees that, and they're out of position now. So, hey, let's run our offense now.
And we're going to get into the game in just a moment. A player just restarting their game, so it's taking a little longer than usual, but we'll get them back in here and get Game 3 started very soon. It looks like they're joining up right now, so we'll be able to get right into it, Subi. And this is a chance for Afterthought to close it out. Compadres' life, they still have it, but they're going to have to win here.
This is a massive game for the Compadres, not just this series, but the entire season right now. There's so many implications that could come from this. And right now, Charlotte Phoenix rooting on the Compadres most. They want to lock in top 4, and what a way to do it right off the kickoff. Astro with a 5-second goal.
You know, reminds me a little bit of Game 1. Astro getting to that ball fast. Everyone on Afterthought out getting boost. Nobody was home defending net. Off kickoff. Double commit. Sathu out of boost. Shock controlling it. Going for a 50-50. Well handled by ZPS. Sathu picking up full boost. Center to Dapper. Dapper off the ceiling. Sathu racing to it, but Astro will get there first. Hit it up the side.
Where did Shock come from? Came out of nowhere, just trying to put any touch on the ball to throw the Compadres off.
And it's worked as they kept that ball in the Compadres' half for a little while, but now the ball back in Afterthought's half. Skills towards the net, hit away from Sathu, and now a clear upfield. ZPS will turn on it. Dapper off the backboard. Shock taking his time. The shot. And that one is slotted top shelf.
And Shock showing you why patience is a virtue. Waits for Astro to get all messed up and tangled in net. Fires it right up at the upper 90 and ties this game up right after 1 minute of gameplay.
Shock having a great series on both defense and offense all around. Making some key plays. Going for another one. Gets the dunk. It bounces out. A demo on ZPS from Dapper. Good bounce. Double commit. The double commit from Afterthought now on the other end. Compadres keeping the pressure on. Shot down towards net.
And that misplay we just saw, James, gotta sting a little bit if you're on Afterthought. Gotta have communication there. Someone's gotta call one of the other players off. Even if it's the player not going for the ball, just say, hey, Dapper's got it, or vice versa. But right there, both players going for it, and missed opportunity.
You hate to see players double commit on a nice shooting opportunity. Compadres, their defense has been holding up. They just need to find that little bit extra energy to put themselves over the top. They've gotten so close in Game 1 and Game 2. They have what it takes to get back in this series. Big challenge there. Boost steal. ZPS a chance. Puts a shot towards the net. Shock was the last back. Stretched to make that save. Now another shooting opportunity. Passes to the middle. Astro found Skills. It's up in the air. ZPS going to go for another touch. Kicks out into the middle. Double commit from Afterthought. but it's hit far enough upfield. Afterthought will be able to recover.
Great boom downfield from ZPS. That one over his head. Sathu up. Can't find the double tap, but in swoops Dapper. Easily saved away from Astro.
That backboard bounce could have been the death of Compadres, but Sathu was not able to make the read. Compadres taking a sigh of relief. Now another shot bouncing off the backboard. Sathu took his time, managed to get it around the defender. Compadres, they are really starting to put the pressure on.
Starting to heat up, starting to get comfortable in the defensive zone of Afterthought. This clear though, over Astro, in comes Sathu, and again, can't read the backboard. That one a little more difficult, but Dapper pushed this ball forward again for Afterthought, looking to just pad this stats. Game remains tied, and ZPS takes that ball and flicks it forward. Back and forth, a little bit of ping pong action. Neither team wanting to get caught pushing forward too far.
ZPS hits it out towards the middle. Drive down from Shock. Astro with the follow-up. Dapper's going to hit off the ceiling. Not the greatest touch. Doesn't get the follow-up, but it threw skills off the trail. Final minute. Sathu hitting it downfield. Astro popping it up. Shock with the challenge. Back down to Skills. Skills booms it. Sathu over to Shock. Shock gets full boost. Opts to clear it. Astro waiting. Skills aiming for backboard. It's denied. The center ball off the backboard. Double tap pass. Doesn't really go anywhere. But Compadres forcing Afterthought back. Astro handles that hot hit very well. Popping it over, now up.
Oh, great dunk. But Afterthought starting to push forward a little bit. Not something you want to do within 30 seconds of gameplay. Pass forward to Sathu just off the crossbar. And what a read to put it in and take game number 3 and the series.
Sathu, you madman. Look at this double tap. What on earth? I need to see another. What even?
I don't know. I don't know, but he did it somehow in some way.
I was getting ready to look away and prepare myself for overtime, and Sathu hits that shot. You know, you can't criticize him anymore, Subi. I don't want you to criticize Sathu ever again.
You know what?
You need to apologize.
Sathu, I am so very sorry, but I wasn't criticizing him. I said he had to show up to win this game.
Yeah, but with that, you implied that he didn't show up before.
He didn't.
You know, and I know, but that's what I'm saying, you know, because he showed up.
He
showed up. Did you see that shot?
I'm watching that one again, and I'm watching it like at half speed because how?
That
what?
was beautiful.
Where?
And we have been blessed with some 0-second goals today. We saw multiple buzzer beaters today. That one to cap off the day.
That takes the cake that Stacks ate, for sure.
I'm hungry now.
Well.
But let's not get into that. You know, food's a sensitive topic for me at the moment. But that shot, that really was incredible. An incredible finish from Afterthought. They closed it out. They did exactly what you said they needed to do, which was chase down Charlotte Phoenix at the top of those standings, not only get a win here, but make it a commanding win. They get that 3-game positive differential. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. And Charlotte Phoenix, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer to get that top spot solidified.
Well, I just want to know if Dreadnought is used to seeing Sathu come out with plays like that, or if that's something brand new to him.
Okay. This is gonna get awkward. Okay. So maybe, and this is only a possibility, while I was walking from the green room to here, assuming that would be the end of the series, that all happened. And that there is no television between that location and this. So what I'm trying to let you know is I really want to know what that goal was, because clearly it was nutty.
It was nutty.
I mean, can you just
unfortunately,
did he spread his wings? Like, what's the angle on this double tap? Like on a scale of 1, like,
it was one of those.
Protractors?
It was one of those angles where I just thought that it was going to hit.
Not
or
reaching.
if he got a hit on it, it would just be a crappy hit.
Yeah.
But he got power. It was an authoritative strike, and he was able to keep it in the air and get it past the defender. at 0 seconds. So it's not going to be a hard shot to find. You just check the VOD and you skip all the way to the end. Let's play the game.
Top of Reddit.
Yeah,
I can't have a feeling it's going to find its way near there. And so I look forward to clicking that future link, but sadly, I wish I cannot speak to that. But by the way you describe it, it does sound like it's an echelon maybe above of what normally we get there from Sathyu and the rest of the boys. But though Afterthought as a whole, beyond just Sathyu's performance, were you guys, was it up to snuff, I guess I feel like, to what you guys wanted here? Because I feel like they're a roster with a bit more burden maybe than some of the other ones here within the rival series.
No, this is exactly what I wanted to see from Afterthought. This is the type of performance they need to put forth week in and week out, especially if they want to make a name for themselves in the RLCS, which is looking like where they might be heading with this style of gameplay and with
Dapper
those hits.
dribble pass, the dribble pass to Dapper.
Disgusting.
The pinpoint accurate shots from Shock and from Sathyu, the 0-second goal. That series had it all for Afterthought. Everyone getting a piece of the limelight there and showing us what they have.
Yeah, that Dapper dribble, and I quote Turtle in the back there, goes, that was basically a handoff. It was so clean, like on that corner, and he just hands it over. Like, would you like a free goal? And he's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that there. Very impressive play coming out from Afterthought, and clearly going to be helping them when looking at the entirety of North America, as we are going to bring up our North American standings here as we do find a conclusion to week number 4 for our regulation play here. Still Charlotte Phoenix sitting at the top, and as we said, due to the not having an upset in that last series, unable to confirm their final placements or clinch in any major positioning. But very impressive play here, I feel like, for a lot of the teams throughout today.
And also, just to point out that Charlotte Phoenix can still clinch top 2 if they beat Linked Up and Afterthought or RBG lose some number of games. So there is top hopes alive that we'll see come to a conclusion very soon. We're nearing the end.
Well, and one of the teams you want to keep your eye on up there is Compadres. They're done. That's all the games they played. They've locked it in. They're 4-5, and now it's up to the rest of the teams to see if they can stay in that top 6. They're there for right now, but many things can change in the last week that we have next week.
Yeah, there's no opportunity to mess up now. So we'll see how it pans out. Just going to have to wait till next week to see how it plays.
I feel like it's even extremely daunting. And just looking at the sample of, for instance, position 5 there with FMG, right? 7 games total, leaving 2 to really, for better or for worse, depending on how those results can work there. So still a lot of mix-up and still a lot of things that can happen here in North American Rival Series. And with that, I've got to ask you guys, now that we have witnessed the entirety here of week number 4, how do we feel? What are our closing thoughts over the entirety of today's games beyond the nutty Sathyu shot that I am still envious I didn't get to see?
Also the Rizek shot earlier today, Mekdos. We had some really, really good shots today that you'd expect to see that in the RLCS. So to see players in the Rival Series playing this well, hitting these types of shots, it just makes you excited for the future of Rocket League.
Yeah, and I wish I had a time machine so we could just go directly to next week, because I want to see what happens. I want to see how these teams finish, because there's so much stuff that can happen. These teams are so
you could
close.
Just sleep a lot.
I've got kids. I can't do that. What's sleep? I don't know what that is.
Well, we've been talking a lot about how this play feels like it is of the caliber of the RLCS, and I think it's important to know for everybody at home that you, in fact, can catch tomorrow's action. It is going to be week number 5 of the North American RLCS. We have pre-show kicking off at 11:30, and the actual kickoff of the game itself there at noon PST. Be sure to be able to check into that to not only see what these guys are fighting for, but I think even more importantly, if you liked what we got from some of those ex-RLCS players, we have a large sample size to be tuning in there tomorrow. And with that, we're going to be closing out here week number 4 of the Rival Series. Thank you very much here for tuning in, and we hope to see you tomorrow.